Ready? No, I'm singing it. Okay, ready? I don't wanna be like Cinderella, sitting in a dark old dusty cellar, waiting for somebody to come and set me free. I don't wanna be like someone waiting for a handsome prince to come and save me. Oh no, we'll survive. I know somebody's on my side. I wanna be me.
Don't no one else. I'd rather rescue myself.
Say yeah.
I feel like starting this by saying, no, I'm singing it tells me you didn't really listen to the message of this movie.
No, I'm singing it.
No, I'm singing it. And I'm the leader of this podcast.
And I'm the leader. And I write all the songs.
We all know I'm the leader of this podcast.
Welcome to Adam and the Showgays, a cine-musical podcast.
Adam and the Showgays.
Well, also, like, I'm not gay myself personally, so like I have to.
You didn't want to take. You didn't want to take space and
I don't want to take space in the commune.
Yeah.
RJ, it's your birthday tomorrow.
Happy birthday to you.
You ready to be?
What are you doing?
What the hell? How old are you going to be?
I truly don't know. Am I turning 33 or 34?
RJ, 33. You're turning 33.
Okay, 33. The dirty 33.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Are you the oldest one of this podcast?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, he's the grandpa.
Grandpapa.
The grandfather of the podcast. Oh yeah, because Adam, yours is in the spring.
March, yeah.
But you were born in 92.
Do your families? Do your families think it's? How are your family? What am I trying to say?
What the fuck are you talking about, girl diva mom?
To me, it feels weird that as the baby, that I'm in my 30s. Like that's kind of like, oh my.
You're shocked by the advancement of time.
Not that it's weird. Shut the fuck up, girl. You're so stupid. No, but it's like it's weird to think about because I think when I think about my family, like my dynamic, it's like I am the baby. So it's like, it's just...
Yes, but they still treat you like the baby. But they still
baby me, so that's true.
Yeah.
Nothing's really changed
and maybe this is just my psychology. What freaks me out more is when my oldest sibling reaches a new decade and not when I, as the baby, get to the new decade. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because my brother is 7 years older, so he'll be 40 next year.
Wow.
And that is crazy. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, I haven't even thought about that. But when my sister turns 50, I think I might freak out.
Well, you'll be turning 40, so you'll definitely be freaking out.
So definitely be. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. We don't have really anything planned. Like as usual, I'm doing.
I guess I should get you a gift.
Yeah. But what do I want? I don't even know.
You just want more quality time with me. That's what I'll get you.
Actually, can you for a birthday gift?
I want a staycation.
Yeah, can you actually book me an Airbnb somewhere for the weekend?
That sounds honestly sick.
Truly.
Do you have plans for like what you're gonna do on the day?
Not yet.
No, you have a thing that night.
Okay.
I do. Yeah, I'm doing a play reading the Saturday morning. So we have like a little rehearsal.
I think you have a thing for. Oh, I see.
We have a little rehearsal to get ready for it. But it's so funny because the reading is at Waukegan in the morning on Saturday. So I'm like, so
that's out there.
Yeah. But we might then just do something Saturday night or, do something at 9 p.m. on a Friday. The night is young.
Why not? You're young.
You're young.
You're still young.
Yeah.
You're only 33.
But I do have a half day that day. So if you do get out of work early, we can go do something. But I don't know what.
Mark today, he was like, I'm sorry we've been slower lately. And I was like, I don't mind.
I don't care.
Thank you.
I appreciate that,
actually. Great. Molly, how's camp?
How are you?
Oh man, I'm so tired.
Literal camp, not the concept of.
Actual literal camp is just the most tiring thing. But I only have a week and a half left. I've got the end of this week and then next week. So
wow,
we're close to being done.
Does school start soon in SoCal?
For a lot of kids, yeah. The 12th of August is when a lot of public schools start. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We were
summer flew by.
We were in LA this weekend because it was
not for me.
We were in LA this weekend because it's a year since we had that corporate lunch last year when we were in LA.
Breakfast.
Yes, when we had the
corporate lunch. It's already been a year since that lunch, which is crazy.
We discussed so many business things at that lunch. That was
basically just catching up on gossip from people.
I meant to ask Molly, we invested in crypto. We gave you all our money to invest in crypto. How's that going?
Lunch,
we haven't checked in.
Oh, it's great.
It's working hard.
It's great, and I'll be writing you a check very soon.
Oh, so excited.
Wow, that's so exciting. I'm writing you a check in Bitcoin though, so you can't actually use it anyway.
Oh, I actually do need the check in US dollars for tax reasons. Yeah.
Well, welcome. Do we have anything? I don't think we do. I think you would have
the
said.
mailbag.
Oh, I think we do. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I've been neglecting, but I get notifications when we get an email. Okay. We have one from Robert called Thoughts and Suggestions.
Everybody's got suggestions now.
Everybody's got suggestions. He says, I want to start this email. By thanking you all for reviewing Gigi, which was his suggestion.
Oh.
It was fun to hear all of you drag the bore of a musical, no pun intended. Literally the worst musical to win Best Picture of an Academy Award.
Yeah.
On a more fun and positive note, I have another suggestion. I would love to hear your thoughts on one of my favorite movie musicals, Funny Face.
Oh, the sequel.
Not only is it much better than Gigi, yeah, there's so much more to love about it. Gershwin songs, fashion, Audrey Hepburn.
How was that a sequel?
Oh, I'm thinking Funny Lady. I'm thinking Funny Lady.
Funny Face is its own.
Funny Face is Audrey. I'm sorry.
Funny Face is Audrey and Fred Astaire. I have seen it before.
There's so many funnies out there.
Yeah.
There's so many funnies. It's just, there was a moment, you know how like there was like that year in like 2012 or whatever when all the novels were girl. It was like Girl on the Train.
Girl on the Lake.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Girl in the window at the apartment at the
Yeah.
1957 was funny. That was everything was funny.
Funny Girl, Funny Lady, Funny Face. The Sunday comics being the funnies. Yeah. Robert shouts out Gershwin songs, fashion, Audrey Hepburn, Fred Astaire, and the delightful Kay Thompson, who walks away with the entire movie. Most of the film does take place in Paris. There's another French-ish musical for you.
I mean, at this point, we should have just made it a season in France.
I mean, the Olympics. We keep making the joke, but like France, I just saw a tweet. Somebody was like, does anyone ever think about how funny it is that like French, the language, was like the lingua franca of Europe until basically there was a European Union and then it became English. So like right when all the European countries like decided they were going to form was when French got out classed by like English became like the standard language.
That's funny.
Oh,
wasn't it France and Germany that kind of like started the whole EU thing? I feel like it was their partnership.
Maybe France was like, actually, let's keep it in. Actually,
yeah. I live in America, so I only speak one language. So sorry.
I didn't know there were other languages. Actually,
I wasn't aware until I moved to San Diego that there were any other languages.
That checks out based on your geographic history.
How many languages do you speak, Adam?
I speak 4. Huh?
Oh, really? Okay.
Speak English. I speak ubby dubby from Zoom. I speak parcel tongue.
Ew.
I don't have another one. And I speak Korean. There.
Okay. I do know 3 other languages, not like fluently, but I do actually.
Do you know?
Languages,
is it just French, Italian, and Spanish?
And ASL.
Oh, I know.
I never
know
actually
how to
took
spell
Spanish
it.
classes.
That's all I can do.
Yeah. I use it in my job sometimes. Okay, and then we got a follow up from Lucas. So I obviously have to read this on the podcast.
Have you read it? Have you read it yet?
Yes.
Okay. Is he mean? I'm so scared.
You have to find out.
He starts off by saying, first off, all of my emails are written in jest. And I hope you didn't take it too seriously.
So funny. That is so funny.
I love you 3 and all your opinions. I just really hate Diana the musical. And honestly, fair, Lucas. Fair.
No, yeah, you're not wrong in that assertion, sir.
He said the best part of your Pro Shot special was Adam talking about my favorite show, The Crown. Imelda Staunton from The Crown is also queen of the National Theatre Live Pro Shots, starring in the great productions of Follies and Gypsy that were broadcast worldwide.
Yeah,
she's also in Sweeney Todd and
she's currently in Hello Dolly.
Exactly. That was the next part of his sentence. Currently in Hello Dolly.
You and Lucas are just one and the same, honey.
Well, no one's ever seen me and Lucas in the same room.
It's
before,
true.
So
I could say that. I've never seen you two in the
True.
same room before. He says maybe we'll get a pro shot of that sometime soon. We could do a reprise of Hello Dolly after that was my first ever podcast that I was on. Was the Hello Dolly was.
That's true.
He says, I like the term cinemusical because it sounds highbrow and can encompass more than just adaptations of Broadway musicals from stage to screen. So I have two cinemusical recommendations for you to cover, if you don't hate me too much after my last email. The first is The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbird and Snakes. Oh. Don't laugh. Was the best musical of 2023. Yeah. Sorry to Wonka and The Color Purple.
Sorry to Twonka.
I mean, we still haven't seen Twonka, so I can't comment on that, but I did love The Color Purple, so we'll see. This new Hunger Games film has at least 5 original folk songs performed beautifully throughout by Showgays alum Rachel Zegler. Mm-hmm. She's so good at singing. She makes Hunter.
Alum.
She is. Yeah, she's in
West Side.
West Side. So good at singing that she makes Hunter Schafer shed a single tear. I really think the use of diegetic music is so cool for a big budget young adult action movie. At my screening during the reaping ceremony musical number, a woman in the audience turned to her date and asked, "Is this a musical?" I love that. You also get to press Daddy Peter Dinklage. I mean, we love a Daddy Peter Dinklage, obviously.
Also an alum.
And Viola Davis. Also an alum. Sarah No, and Viola Davis in a wild wig. If you ever cover, I would want to hear your general thoughts on the Hunger Games movies and books, as it could make for a really fun, nostalgia-heavy, unconventional episode.
Molly, have you ever read or seen?
Yes.
I have never read or seen a Hunger or a Game.
Let me say this. I am a reader, so I don't want to speak for non-readers, but never has a book engrossed my attention so much. Like I have recommended The Hunger Games before to people if they are like, I'm in a reading slump or like, I'm not much of a reader. I think that they just keep going with the action. So I really do think it's a book that a lot of people would enjoy. But so this sounds like it could be fun for us to cover because we'll have different perspectives and experiences. So you guys have never seen or read them at all?
No. And remember, I have that weird fear of like dystopian, we all have to kill each other. Apocalyptic stories.
I mean, I guess it's not a weird fear, but I do love those things. Yeah. So I guess.
Well, you're kind of the woman that JD Vance is talking about. You know, the childless woman with the cat. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly. So I'm really looking forward. I'm really looking forward to the Hunger Games personally because of my childless status. So, look, I'm aged out of the Hunger Games, so I'm good. I'm Gucci.
Yeah.
I don't know. That would be interesting to have it reviewed by people who don't have any familiarity with like the franchise, but it might be too much for RJ.
I mean, IS3. I mean,
that's true. We hopped right in the middle of that trilogy.
We've done it before. Last but not least, I really think you should take advantage of RJ's American Idol fandom
from Justin
and cover
Kelly.
the film. Exactly. I saw this movie at a sleepover once and barely remember it, but it's a musical comedy available to rent and it's only 90 minutes long. Do it for RJ and Kelly.
So ironically, Lucas, today's episode we thought was going to be from Justin to Kelly because it's RJ's birthday shot episode. So he could pick whatever he wanted. And I was pushing real hard from Justin to Kelly because obviously, you know, that's history.
Yeah. Historic.
And RJ did not.
I went with a different movie that I looking back, like should have seen and like, because I think I would have been like obsessed with it as well. But so I'm kind of using this opportunity to. This was my first time watching this.
I'd never seen Cheetah Girls until 2 days ago.
What?
I had never seen this movie before. So I, as an adult, a 32-year-old adult, decided to watch The Cheetah Girls, and I got my life
on the plane.
Listeners, at no point when we were making the list of musicals for this year, and RJ said he wanted it to be The Cheetah Girls, did he mention to me that he had not seen the movie?
I didn't know you hadn't seen it before.
I didn't know you hadn't seen it either.
Well, we're keeping
I can't believe that I will be the historian of this podcast.
Yeah. You're the subject matter expert of cheetahs and girls.
I was the only person that actually watched the Cheetah Girls when it was released. Wait, did neither of you have Disney Channel when you were of this age?
I did not have Disney Channel in the Philippines until like, I want to say the 5th or 6th grade. So that would have been around this time when this movie came out. Because this was like 03, I think, is when I saw it on Wikipedia.
I think it was 03.
But I was deep in like, I don't know why I wouldn't have watched it because I was like deep in Raven. I was watching like That's a Raven religiously. And all up on Lizzie McGuire. I mean, I went to the theaters to watch the Lizzie McGuire movie. So yeah, I just think the DCOMs, because they were always on like the weekends, I never got to watch, because most of my TV time was always during the weekdays.
Oh, I'm so sorry. RJ was so popular. He couldn't watch Disney Channel movies on the weekends. He was so much to do.
No, I'm saying yes, but our cable in the Philippines didn't get the one that my family had, didn't get Disney Channel until like the 5th or 6th grade.
So that, okay, which
it's like maybe like 02-ish, 0203. So I would have seen it, but I don't know.
They literally got cable.
Hold on. Did things air at the same time? Would like something
like world premieres and stuff?
Is that how it worked? Because I was wondering if it like premiered later in the Philippines.
Maybe.
I don't know how international.
It has to be. It has to be that it premiered in the Philippines before RJ got cable, because there is no way that a young RJ would not have been watching this movie.
Because like I watched all of Raven, and like when I was watching it today, I was like, oh, that's Raven's rival. No Raven watchers in this house. No, like the what's her name? Chuchi. She plays like Raven's rival in the show.
Oh, in the show? I didn't realize she had been on the show.
Raven,
I feel like That's a Raven was
in Raven's home, actually. In the sequel series.
That's a Raven was like just on the cusp of I was getting a little too old for Disney Channel. So I saw like some episodes, but I don't like remember it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's actually my exact story is.
But I have seen the music videos. Because I knew Cinderella.
Okay.
Because you know sometimes they would do. No.
Is it a thing on TikTok?
Because you know how they would do like music videos during Disney Channel, like The Circle of Life, you know, with everyone.
They played Cinderella a lot.
Yeah, so I knew the song, like, but I did, but not so much the other songs. It was Cinderella was the one that they always played. That one, and then Girl Power they played a lot too, but Cinderella for sure. But also Cinderella has an obvious tie-in back to Disney, so they can. It's like it's synergy before the word synergy really existed. Before the suits, yeah. But yeah, so you are her historian. Sorry.
Wow, I have so much to tell you about 2003.
Well, before we get into the relationship to this musical, RJ, you have to tell us the 1-minute summary of the Disney Channel original film, The Cheetah Girls, in a minute or less, and your time starts now.
The Cheetah Girls are a teenage girl group looking to break out as the next big girl group. After passing their school's talent show auditions, they are discovered by producer Jekyll Johnson, who promises them a record deal and major success. But complications arise from each member that threaten their dream. Galleria self-imposes herself as the leader and is overbearing to the girls as much as she feels burdened by her overprotective mother. Chanel struggles with Galleria's changing personality while juggling her mother's relationship that may move them to pairs. Dorinda, their main dancer, needs to choose between the Cheetah Girls or a paid gig in a dance crew to help provide for her and her foster family. And Aquanet is looked down on by Galleria for being too provincial from the South. When Jekyll Johnson's offer turns out to be a concept nothing like their own image of music, Galleria disagrees with the girls who don't want to lose the offer, and the group breaks up, leading Galleria to reflect if she made the right choice for the group or just for her own dream. Galleria's dog Toto runs and falls into a construction site hole, and the Cheetah Girls reunite to sing and save him and pursue their dreams together without losing their friendship.
And that was exactly 1 minute. Good job.
Whoa.
Congratulations. The character's full name is Aquanet.
Yes,
Aquanet.
And she has a twin sister in the book.
Oh.
There's a book?
It's based on a series of 16 books.
Well, now you're not recommending the Hunger Games anymore, sweetie.
Yeah.
No, we're doing a new series. I got to bust down.
A page by page podcast analysis from the Cheetah Girls book series.
Oh my God.
RJ, yeah. So your full story with the Cheetah Girls is you knew nothing except the song.
I knew Cinderella, and then like I want to say it was like in college. Well, I guess maybe high school, because you know all my friends are gay. But everyone always saying like Cheetah. Like my friend Victor would always say Cheetah Girls, Cheetah Sisters.
Cheetah Girls,
like
Cheetah Sisters.
To us, and I would be like, "Yes, Queen, honey, ha ha ha,"
without knowing.
I was like, "Yes, obviously, I know this," and that sailed me through all the way to today. So.
Great.
But there's actually going to be, so this releases on the 1st. Tomorrow. This week we'll also post an article. A friend of the Ampliverse, my friend Chloe, wrote a little like mini article about like lessons that the Cheetah Girls taught me, because she recently rewatched it too. And it's like, they're my favorite. She's a big K-pop girly. And so she's like, my favorite girl group, if you ask me, is the Cheetah Girls.
my favorite K-pop group is the Cheetah Girls. Yeah.
I'll just bounce off really quick because it's very similar. I think I was like aging out of Disney Channel right around this time because I remember really watching the first season of That's So Raven, which actually starts the same year that the Cheetah Girls comes out. The first season of That's So Raven starts in January of 2003. And so obviously, you know, we're in a post 9/11 era. And this is premieres in like August, I think, of 2003. So I think by that time, because I remember the earlier episodes of Raven more than I remember later season episodes because it ran for 4 seasons, 100 episodes, which is wild to think about. So I think it was just around that time. Both my sisters had like graduated high school at this point, and like they moved out. Leslie was like in college, so she technically still had a bedroom at our house, but like she was going to Notre Dame, so I didn't really see her that often. So I feel like this was like where my brain was like, okay, and I'm also I'm like not a kid anymore either because they're gone. So I'm like the teenager now. Yeah. And that was when I was like, Mom, I want to watch Medium on NBC. And I would watch Medium. I would tape it every week.
Wow.
Because I
love the thought of going to one's mother and saying, Mom, I want to watch Medium.
I need to watch Medium.
I want you to know that I've become a man and I need to watch
Patricia Arquette solve crimes.
I think in like 2002 for like Christmas, this had to have been it. My mom and her like best friend, Lisa, who have been friends for like years, they always get each other a really nice Christmas gift. And I want to say like 2002, Lisa got Mom and by extension, like our family, a year subscription to Entertainment Weekly. And so like 2003, I read an Entertainment Weekly cover to cover every week. And I think that was, it was like fall TV preview. And I was like, so you were this is how I'm going to learn how to be an adult. This is it, honey. I'm locking in. I'm locked in.
I don't fucking need Disney Channel. I'm watching NBC.
Because you know what also premieres in 2003?
Is that Grey's
Anatomy, Desperate Housewives, Lost. These are all the same year.
Okay, so if that was the same year, then yeah, I think I would have been, because my family, like I also watched Grey's and Desperate Housewives and like Lost when that first started. So maybe this was like the transition.
What was wrong with you, RJ? How did you not?
I love that she's more mad that you didn't watch it.
Yes, because if you watch this movie, you're like RJ.
Have you met all of us?
Yes, you're like RJ Silva is the screenwriter of this movie. I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Well, that would explain why it's bad.
It was made specifically for RJ.
Yeah. Adam, how dare you sully this movie?
It's written by Allison Taylor, if you want.
My pen name, honey.
Yeah, exactly.
Nom de plume.
It's a nom de plume. If you scramble the letters, it spells RJ.
I am RJ Silva. Molly, what's your deal?
Firstly, for the record, I also watched Medium, I didn't ask permission because
I didn't ask. I just told. I was like, Mom, I'm watching
Medium
because it was like 9 p.m. on a Monday. I remember the time slot it was on.
I had to do this for I had to do this for Charmed and Buffy too. Charmed was also 9, and my mom had to like let me stay up.
My ma.
Thanks, Ma.
So cute. Okay, I watched this at the time, although. So I enjoyed it, but I also, you know, the feeling when you're like, this has been marketed too much to me. I feel too aware that you've made this because you think that I will like it because it has all of the girly things. Like just the existence of cheetah print as like the hook of the whole girl group is very like, girls like this, right?
Yeah.
So I watched it, was sort of half enjoying it, half resenting it. At the time? Because I was like, at the time. Wow. Because I think as we were talking about our turn to adulthood as we were 11 when this movie was released, I feel like I was like, I liked the songs and everything, but I also was like, this is a little too much.
Sure. It is probably one of the better produced Disney Channel original movies I've ever seen.
Yes.
You can tell they actually had budget for this one. They shot in New York for some scenes, which is crazy. But also it still does have that like it's a TV movie made for children.
It feels like a Fantasia. Like there's still parts of it. I'm like, this is still kind of like a fantasy of like what kids wanted. Like their bedrooms is what I think about. Like,
oh my God,
her bedroom. No one has that bedroom in real life.
No one.
I think
she had
also,
the Cheetah Girls emblazoned like on like a projector on her wall.
I think honestly too, it might have been like the beginning of like the internalized misogyny that most tween girls go through. Of being like, I'm not so girly.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be like all the other girls.
No, you don't want to be like
the
Cinderella.
really girly things.
Yeah, sitting at home in a dusty cellar. Yeah.
Well, that was fun, thrilling. But you saw this like when it came out?
Yes.
Premiere night? Or just like...
Probably. We were very into Disney Channel movies in my house. We weren't going to parties, I guess. So we were, it was appointment viewing in the tiny household.
Wow. I only, I mean, even like, I definitely saw a lot of Disney Channel movies, but I think the only one I ever was like, I'm watching the premiere of a Disney Channel original movie and I purposefully like made that a decision was High School Musical 2. I think it's the only one I ever was like, I'm going to be awake for it. Because they would show them so often that you would still end up seeing them at some point if you had it on.
Yeah. I don't know that I don't remember like setting a reminder for the premiere or whatever. We were a genuine big Disney Channel movie.
Set a reminder
we
for the
loved
Cheetah Girls.
Brink.
My phone's sorry.
Brink we loved. There's another one that Johnny Tsunami, I think, was a little bit earlier. That was after Cheetah Girls, wasn't it?
No, I think it was earlier.
Okay.
It was one of the early ones. Quince.
Smart House.
Halloween Town.
Quince. Halloween Town. Now that's
The Color of Friendship.
I think.
Color of Friendship was big.
Color of Friendship is genuinely a good movie. I have not seen it, so I can't really say that, but I feel like it would probably still I saw it when I was little. I haven't seen it recently, so I can't for sure say it holds up, but I feel like it felt like even when I was watching it as a kid, I was like, they worked hard on this one. This one feels different from the other one.
The subject matter is definitely, Yeah,
I mean, it is about them hosting like a South African kid because I think that they were too uncomfortable to like imply that American white kids could be racist. So maybe that part doesn't hold up so much, but I'm sure that there's very good messages in that film. The point is, we were very into DCOMs. I feel like this was kind of also in that turn to adulthood. I feel like this was kind of the last one that I really remember watching. I do remember watching the first High School Musical, but I watched it kind of thinking like, I'm kind of excited for this, but I think I'm too old for it. And I have such a visceral memory of when I went to my future high school to take the entrance exam that I was waiting for the test to start and I heard two girls talking about High School Musical and feeling relieved that I wasn't the only person who had watched High School Musical who had seen it. I didn't talk to them about it. I was still too shy, but I was like, okay, at least there's other people who are still watching this.
Because there's so much high school material in the like created in media, but there is like a difference between high school material that is clearly marketed toward like tweens and like middle schoolers of like what high school is like. And then there's like high school material that's marketed toward like high schoolers and like young adults. And that is very different. Like the two tones are very different. Because I think technically wasn't like Lizzie McGuire, was she in middle school or was she in high school? She was in middle school.
Sure.
But
she might have been like 8th grade.
But definitely like Ren from Even Stevens was like in high school.
Right.
And I think that's what Raven, they were supposed to be in high school.
Yes.
I think they were in high school. Because we've talked about this before. All children want to watch media about the next phase of life.
Yes, the next phase of life. Yeah.
And then you become an adult and you watch Euphoria about people in high school doing things that you've never even done yourself as an adult.
Didn't know people were doing.
I still don't know what ketamine is. I still do not know to this day.
I just know that.
I know it's a drug.
I know.
I don't know what it does.
And I know Zendaya does it. I know Davina DeCampo did it.
Yeah, they all do it.
I think my DCOMs definitely then came after. I think it was like post Cheetah Girls, maybe post High School Musical Money. Because I remember.
Yeah, it was post you getting cable.
Yes, because I remember watching like Cadet Kelly. And
Cadet Kelly was good.
Eddie's, I did watch Cadet Kelly.
But that's like the Lizzie.
Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off.
Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off. I remember watching that one. So
that I don't even remember that there was a movie called that. You could be gaslighting me right now.
But then there was like the boom of DCOMs when we were like kind of phasing out of them, where it started to be like there was one a month. Yeah. Like there were like, because when DCOMs first started, it was like once every like season there was like a new DCOM, and then it started to be like, oh, these are really popular. People really like them, so they were just churning them out. They were just shooting in Toronto all the damn time.
Yeah. Are they still doing DCOMs?
I guess The Descendants, like that.
The Descendants, that technically counts.
Right.
And those
Zombies.
Honey.
Yeah.
COMBIES. Oh my gosh, how could I not know about my most beloved film?
Yeah.
COMBIES.
True cinema. Cinemusical.
Cinemusicals. Are we rebranding?
Maybe in the new season. I'll change
Showgays, a cinemusical.
A cinemusical podcast.
Yeah.
Cinemusique.
Because it's all French season.
Okay, so here's my facts. So, Cheetah Girls, written by Deborah Gregory. The first book comes out in 1999. The series continues through 2006. She releases, I think, 16 volumes total is what I counted. 16 or like 18 or something like that.
And they're like Magic Treehouse age, or like
it is basically a 1-to-1 of the film.
Whoa.
The first book is like exactly the plot of the film, except for the ending. The ending is
not Toto does not get stuck in a hole.
There is no Toto rescue.
But the biggest change, besides the fact that there's 5 members in the original one and there's 4 in the movie, it's because they couldn't find a set of twins, because Aqua and Angie were the 2 twins from Texas, but they didn't find twins, I guess, so they just made it.
They love twins in young adult novels.
Oh, yeah.
What's that about?
Yeah, but I also feel like the 5 girls is very like Babysitter's Club energy, because there were 5 girls in the Babysitter's Club too. But anyway, so it takes place in New York. I will say the biggest difference is that the series pretty much just follows Chanel's story. Like it's kind of all told from her perspective, not Galleria. But
the movie definitely felt way more Galleria heavy.
Yes,
like it was Galleria's movie,
but some books change narrators too.
Makes sense.
Which also was like Babysitter's Club.
Very Game of Thrones.
Yes.
POV chapters and
So the big change was like obviously getting rid of one of the members, and then Galleria kind of being like the main character of the film. That's mostly because Raven was the biggest star name in this. Even though Chanel, played by Adrienne Bellon, and Aqua, played by Kiely Williams, were both from 3LW, which was a platinum selling girl group.
Yes.
From 1999 until 2000.
Do you remember I'm sick and tired of your broken promises.
Yeah.
There's that one. Nope. And players, they gon' play. And haters, they gon' hate.
Yeah, that I remember.
Yeah.
So actual singers in this, which is very exciting. The Cheetah Girls, written by Allison Taylor, directed by Oz Scott, stars Raven as Galleria, whose nickname is Bubbles. Adrienne Bellon, who plays Chanel, whose nickname is Chuchi. Kiely Williams plays Aqua, her full name is Aquanet. And Sabrina Bryan plays Dorinda, who sometimes is called Doe. So everybody has a nickname and a full name.
Mm-hmm.
But look, their names, do they spell it Do-Re-Mi? No. So it's an inferior.
No, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Music is by John Van Tongeren. I looked him up and he has like credits and stuff, but it's all just like he just does like music for movies. It's not like
he's not like a music producer or like a the producers of this film, Whitney Houston, heard of her? Legend, icon.
Wow.
Deborah Martin Chase. I looked up Deborah Martin Chase and I was like, I feel like I've heard this name before.
Yeah.
Deborah Martin Chase from Great Lakes, Illinois. Here's her list of credits as a producer. The Preacher's Wife, 1996. The Princess Diaries, 2001. The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, 2005. Then she does some American Girl movies. She did Harriet in 2019. Then her television credits, 1997, Cinderella, starring Brandy Norwood and Whitney Houston. Cheetah Girls, 2003. She does all the Cheetah Girls. She ends up producing a documentary called Aaliyah, the Princess of Rap, or R&B, in 2014. She produces the show The Equalizer, which is the one that Queen Latifah's on in CBS. And then in theater, she co-produced A Strange Loop on Broadway in 2022. So
a hit maker.
Black excellence. We love to see it.
A woman on the pulse.
Love it.
She's like, I know what they need.
World needs.
What people need. That she produced The Princess Diaries, Cheetah Girls, and Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants is so wild to me. That is really
the chokehold she had on that demographic
in a very specific period of time. Yeah. And then Jacqueline George was the other producer. Cinematography is by Derek V. Underschultz. Editors are Terry Stokes and Deborah Light. Its running time is 93 minutes. The production companies are Brown House Productions and Martin Chase Productions. It was aired on the Disney Channel on August 15th, 2003. It is the first of a trilogy in which Raven does not appear in the final film. The other thing is Oz Scott, who's the director. I looked him up too, and he has some credits as well. But I guess it said, I mean, this is Wikipedia, so it said his biggest project, or the thing he's most known for, like artistically, is a short film that aired on the Disney Channel in 1986, like back when it was like kind of edutainment programming, called Mr. Boogedy. And I guess it's on Disney Plus if you want to watch it. I looked up the plot. It sounds it's like a comedy about like the boogeyman, but it's a comedy. So it looked funny. You can watch it on Disney Plus if you want to. So it was like an all black. The author of the original book series is black. Obviously a lot of the production team is black. So it's very cool that they like really tried to not just have like white people do this. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
I do think like that comes through to some extent, which is nice.
Yeah. Totally.
Even like, this is crazy to say, but at the time, having 2 black leads in the group is like, wow. Like this is definitely in this period of like, you're allowed to have 1 black friend.
Yes.
Like that's it.
Well, Wildly Aqua was originally supposed to be Solange Knowles. And she ended up passing on it because it was right around the time, I guess, that she was about to release her first solo album. And so she was going to go on a tour or something, aka Matthew Knowles was going to force her to go on a tour at that time. So, the other thing I wanted to talk about.
Oh my God, I cannot believe you have this video.
So Kiely Williams.
You mean the music video she made years later?
Yeah.
Do you know this? Do you remember this?
It's iconic. It's iconic. Of course I know about it. You think I'm not in the community, Adam? Of course I know about this video.
You're 100 years old. So
we're all the same age, but you're 100.
Kiely Williams, who plays Aqua in this film, she's like kind of the comic relief of the film, really, of the 4 girls. She's supposed to be like the funny one. She had, like a lot of the girls do, once they finish their child career, they try to like, be like, I'm an adult now and I'm talking about adult things, and adult things are sex. So she has a song called Spectacular that we're going to listen to right now. As soon as I share my screen.
I remember it in college. Our friend Claire kept quoting this all the time.
It's so funny.
Last night I was drunk. I don't remember much. But what I do comes in pictures. That's how gone I was. But he was tall and he was buying. So I gave him a trying. Said he was built like a stallion. And that man wasn't lying. Last I remember I was face down, ass up, clothes off, broke off, dozed off. Even though I'm not sure of his name, he could get it again if he wanted. Cause the sex was spectacular. The sex was spectacular. The sex was spectacular. The sex was spectacular.
I can't.
She's bringing a really important message.
I have to read this.
Advocacy.
We are just finding out in real time, folks. This is the caption from 2010 of this video. Attention, I am an actress and performer. I have been so since my first role in a television pilot at 5 years old. I played a character when I was a Cheetah Girl. I am playing a character in the music video for the song Spectacular, as I did in the Cheetah Girl movies. The fact is that sometimes women get intoxicated and have unprotected sex, Molly. My video puts this issue front and center. It is absurd to infer or suggest that I'm condoning this behavior. Are Lady Gaga and Beyonce advocating murder with the telephone video? You can tell this is 2010. No, of course not. Was Rihanna encouraging suicide with Russian roulette? No. Was Madonna suggesting that young unmarried girls get pregnant with Papa Don't Preach? I don't think so. Is Academy Award winner Monique a proponent of incest because of her portrayal of Mary in the movie Precious? Clearly, the answer is no. I wrote Spectacular and made the video to bring attention to a serious women's health and safety issue. Don't shoot the messenger.
A serious
diva.
If we ever have to explain on this fucking podcast what camp is ever again, I'm reading this verbatim because mama, this is camp. Bitch, you made a song called Sex is Spectacular. Just only you made it.
Yes.
This would get you booked at Pride every year for the rest of your life.
Oh my
diva.
God, yeah.
She should have waited 10 more years, honestly. This would have killed. This was killed in the pandemic where we needed just something.
It's the fact that she's like, I wrote this song to bring awareness to women's health.
No, Diva, you wanted to just you had good sex and you wrote a song about it.
You wanted us to know it was spectacular.
Yeah, it's fine. Let's celebrate that, Queen. Let's celebrate that. This is so funny. The whole thing is so funny. This has 2 million views on YouTube, and we got to get those views up, guys. We got to go stream. Let's go stream Spectacular by Kiely Williams.
Let's chart her again.
The show notes for this podcast will just be a link to the show, the music video.
The music video. Absolutely.
I'm going to make that happen right now.
Yes.
Perfect.
Resources used, references.
So anyway, that's Kiely Williams. I truly have no other information.
Did you find anything about like why Raven didn't do the I guess I always just knew that there was beef with the girls, but I never knew.
Yes, famously there was
because
beef.
they like tour, like they like recorded music as Cheetah Girls.
Yes, they were an official group under like the Disney label. It was a huge thing. They recorded a few albums. Most of them coincided with the release of the films, so whatever. Yeah. But they shot Cheetah Girls 2 in Spain, España. And Raven has said that her experience shooting Cheetah Girls 2 was that it was very cliquish and she felt outside of the group. So she did not wish to return for Cheetah Girls 3. So in Cheetah Girls 3, they say that her character just went to college. And that's the story. Now there's a very famous Instagram live.
Yes.
Where is it her and Kiely?
It's her and Kiely.
Her and Kiely did an Instagram live together to kind of bury the hatchet. And that's where you have the afterward Raven like laughs while she's like making a sandwich.
A salad or something.
She's eating a sandwich.
Oh, she's eating a sandwich. Yeah.
It's very funny. Anyway, this is all meme culture. All of this is going over my mother's heads, but
I do know
there's a lot of lore surrounding the Cheetah Girls.
I do know that Sabrina Bryan competed in a season of Dancing with the Stars.
She was in season 5, yes.
Very good. She did very well, I think.
And I didn't realize Adrian was on the Real for like 11 years.
The Real?
Yeah, it was one of the View spinoff.
Yeah.
Or like competitors.
Right. I knew that she was like a talk show person, but I didn't know that was what it's called. Okay.
Yeah.
Is she like an anti-vaxxer or something though? Isn't she like really into natural stuff to like a degree that's maybe too much?
Oh, I don't know. So am
I totally slandering her?
I don't know. I mean, usually if there is stuff like that, they'll have a controversy section on their Wikipedia page, and she did not have one. So I don't know for sure.
Maybe she's clear.
She is married and she recently had a kid. I know that. She's also the oldest one of the 4 girls.
Yes. Well, they were like, I think she was 20, right?
She was, the ages are like 17, 18, 19, 20.
Yeah.
Between the 4 of them.
I did not. We'll get to movie, but I did not realize they were supposed to be freshmen.
They're supposed to be freshmen in high school. It's crazy. Not because I think they kind of plausibly look like freshmen to some extent.
I swear Aqua had a line about NYU.
She does have a line about NYU, but she's supposed to be the smart one.
Oh,
she's like taking classes at NYU because she's so good at math. She's like a trait class at NYU because her 2 traits are Southern and
smart
math.
and being scared of the subway.
Yes.
Yeah, she actually has a lot of traits. You're right. She's 3-dimensional.
3 traits. So
those are the 3 dimensions one requires. That's all I have. The other, I actually shouldn't say that because I'm about to tell you something else. The woman who played the best character in this whole thing, drink a champagne.
Drink a champagne, honey.
Drink a champagne. Let me tell you something about drag. Drink a champagne is it.
Well, let me tell you about Miss Drinka Champagne. Her name is Sandra Caldwell. She's a really famous actress. She's been like a kind of like a day player in Hollywood for like years. Like she's had a very long career where she's just has like bit parts in like different movies and shows and stuff. She's like been working for a really long time. In 2017, she revealed that she is a trans woman. That she had lived her life as a trans woman for years.
I am remembering this now, actually.
Yes. And it's very interesting. She's in a Netflix documentary called Discourse, I think.
Disclosure?
Disclosure. She's in Disclosure.
Yeah. Watch that.
Okay.
And so I read a little bit about her. She transitioned. She never told anyone. Her friends knew, but that was
watching that.
Yes. Her friends knew, blah, 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 blah. And then she did like a 1-woman show in like the early 2010s. And she didn't talk about it. And she was like, I felt so upset with myself that I really didn't actually talk about my actual, like what actually makes me who I am. Yeah. And so like then revealed it and, was celebrated and whatever. But yeah, And like people didn't know for years, which is like, it's fascinating. It's such a cool like these are the people that I feel like these are the like biopics I want to see. You know what I mean? Like that's the person I want to see their life story, not like.
And I want a big part of it to be about her appearance in the Cheetah Girls, but also I am interested in her full journey as a human being.
It's both.
I couldn't find anything about Adrian and like controversial health claims or anything about vaccines. So I'm going to officially retract that before this episode goes out and say I don't think she has any weird health claims.
Great.
Okay.
I feel like you might be thinking of maybe I don't know.
Jenny McCarthy.
Sierra?
No.
I know Sierra had the whole 5G.
What's her name from Full House?
We should definitely stop just like putting out names of celebrities you think might be anti-vaxxers. Candace Cameron Bure is like very Christian. I don't know if she's an anti-vaxxer. That might be part of her deal.
She recently made a TikTok.
Well, she was mad about like
the drag queens,
Satanic
drag
Paris
queens
Olympics.
in the Paris Olympics. Yeah. And it's Nikki Doll.
Yeah.
It's Nikki fucking Doll.
Nikki Doll was on the. I didn't watch the whole opening ceremony. I did see the Celine performance, but I didn't watch the whole. Is it Nikki Doll?
Yeah, Nikki Doll. Well, because they do. She's mad because they do a tableau, and everyone's saying like it's Last Supper, but it's actually a different artwork that they're.
It's a Greek. It's Dionysus.
Dionysus. So the Christians are like how they're
not knowing that there are things that aren't from Christian history. Yeah.
Well, should we talk about the movie?
Yes.
Let's watch a Disney Channel movie. Let's watch a Disney Channel movie. We're gonna watch a Disney Channel movie. Let's watch a Disney Channel movie. Let's watch a Disney Channel movie.
RJ, as someone who has just seen this movie for the first time, in fact, you watched it today.
Today, I did.
I watched it a couple days ago. I watched it on our flight back. I think this is a great flight movie, to be honest. I do recommend if you're on a flight, it's a good time.
Yeah.
RJ, dying to hear what you think about the Cheetah Girls.
Okay, I've said I haven't watched a lot of DCOMs, and there was going to be a moment, I think like during the pandemic when we were thinking about like, should we just binge all of these DCOMs that I've missed? We didn't.
We didn't because most of them are bad. Objectively, most of them are bad.
I mean, I think this is the best one that I've seen out of all the DCOMs. My thing with DCOM.
Okay, how many have you seen? Let's get a baseline.
Halloween Town.
I think
Halloween
Kelly is better than this, but
Johnny Tsunami.
Johnny Tsunami is not good.
Xenon.
Xenon is not great, but it's iconic.
Xenon. Oh my God. Xenon ended my life at the time. I mean, that was all I wanted to be.
Everyone wanted to be Xenon. Yeah.
Is that it? I'm blanking.
I think that.
Have you seen Smart House?
No, I have not.
He's never seen Smart House.
Have you seen Brink?
He's never seen Brink.
Not. I've seen High School Musical. I've seen High School Musical. Yes, I think this is better than High School Musical. Sorry, Adam.
Okay.
I think that's probably right.
To me, it feels like these are real, even though we just said like it's kind of like a Fantasia, like they're not living real lives, but they feel like real people. Like I really like, I think Raven just has, I don't know, there's something about like, maybe obviously not like their situations that they're in, but like kind of like the way they talk, especially like how Bubbles and Chuchi, Galleria and Chanel talk. There was like such a flow in like their friendship conversation that I was like, ooh, I don't know. I feel so like I'm like right in the middle of their friendship. Like I feel so.
I think that the performances are good for the ages of the performers.
Yeah.
The performances I might be able to see it with. I feel like the lines and the plots and the characterization are not really there for me in terms of real people, but I think it might be the chemistry between the performers that you're
there's like
sort of
some of them obviously like their lines are like insane, but like Raven does a really good job of doing these like throwaway lines that obviously like she does well in her sitcom. That like there was one where she's about like her dad is about to come in with her mom to tell her that she can talk to the producer, but she's on the phone with Chuchi, and as soon as the dad comes in, he's like, wait, let me get your mom. She's like, something's about to happen, let me get back to you. Like that kind of small line reading.
She has, and because she'd been on camera for so long at this point, literally. Because she was on the Cosby Show when she was so young. Yeah, she is very natural on camera in a way that you can't really teach.
And all of her lines when she was kid actress was just one-liners. Like it's the Mary-Kate and Ashley. Like you just got the jokes.
Yes.
Because it's funny to see a little kid say these things.
It's precocious. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like she just has this inherent way of like just killing.
And the thing that Raven
lines.
did well, especially at the time, that kind of like specific, the way she would like say a line and like she would like change her voice is so funny. I don't know if it fits this character essentially, but I do like, it is just funny to watch it. It's like anytime Wanda Sykes says anything, she's going to sound like Wanda Sykes, but I'm like, please, because it's Wanda Sykes.
Yeah. You want more of it for sure. I
did feel like the pacing was like faster than usual Disney Channel DCOMs.
It doesn't really slow down. There's like one slow part when it's about the foster family, and that's kind of the only like drag.
But it does feel like now that you've said that like this is one of 16 books and like this first movie is kind of like it does feel like we're trying to get through the different chapters of a book. Like it's
nice that they had something to graft this on. That they were like, we don't have to come up with a whole plot ourselves.
Yes, because it did feel like there was a lot of plot for all 4 characters, but it felt like it was moving a lot. I don't know. I felt like the pace was pretty quick, and I think that's what I enjoyed. So
RJ is 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up, but like it is definitely a movie that I would just like if it was on, if I still had TV, like live TV, and if it was on playing, I would just let it play.
2 thumbs up, but you're grading on a curve because it's a Disney Channel original movie.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
Got it.
I wouldn't,
So 2 middle schooler thumbs up.
Yes. Yeah. Middle school.
Middle school size thumbs.
Yeah. Middle school size thumbs.
Yeah.
Molly, general thoughts?
I liked it more on the rewatch than I was expecting to. Yeah, like as a movie, whatever.
Yeah,
as a collection of songs, fun.
Yeah,
the songs are good.
The songs
are good.
Like if an actual local group made those songs, like everyone would be like, why are they not famous?
Yes,
this is crazy. The production quality.
They're good songs, and I think, look, if you're going to put the effort into one thing, if you're making a teeny bop movie about a girl pop group, like make it have good music. And they did. I feel like they did the baseline thing that I want out of them. And I do also think that actually the conflict between Galleria and her mom is like pretty interesting. Like I could kind of see both sides of it really in a way that I don't usually expect from a children's movie, where you're like, well, both these characters have a point, and I look forward to them hashing out their differences because I can see why they both think the way that they do and that kind of thing. Definitely. It's like, as you get more peripheral to Galleria, the less sort of like real human I feel like all the characters are.
Yeah.
But it felt like a real, I see how it's like based on a book. Like I liked the detail that I'm pretty sure that it was implying like Galleria and Chuchi's moms were like models together, and that's why they've grown up together and everything, right? Because they had nicknames for each other. Mom had they're very close, and like Chuchi's mom had like a big picture of herself on the wall of their apartment. So I assume that she was a model, and then like Galleria's mom talks about having been a model. So like you could kind of put together the context clues of that. So like that sort of stuff I feel like is probably because it's in a book, that stuff probably gets more fleshed out, and then they can just put those little details in the movie. So those things I thought were nice. But yeah, like Aqua is like not really a person.
No. I mean, I wrote that sentence about her because I was like, I can't just not leave her out.
I mean, they
her biggest.
They don't even really give her good one-liners either. Like if she was like funny, then it would make up for it. But like she's kind of it's a bummer. She like does serve that role, but not really that effectively. The best part she has is when she's like, "Let me tell you how it is." Like she's the one who gets feisty, and I was like, "This is this is your character arc, honey."
And then Darina's whole thing about like being a foster child and whatever is like so after school special. They're doing their best, and they were trying to say something important and whatever. But like as an adult watching it, you're like, I know.
Okay. I've seen my fair share of this already.
Yeah. And also like the fact that Chuchi like does not understand the concept of a foster family. Like I guess when I was like 10 or 11, I probably didn't either. But like at the time, like watching it as an adult, you're like, how do you not get, like she opens the door, like a woman of a different race opens the door. You see like six kids run up the stairs. Like none of these context clues are meaning anything to Chuchi. And you're like, really? You don't get what's going on here, girl? Yeah.
Well, she is supposed to be like, I think it's insinuated that she's like the one who's like the worst at school of the.
Oh yes, because she had to go to Almanac.
She has to go. Yeah, Mrs. Almanac.
Mrs. Almanac.
That's everybody's teacher, Mrs. Almanac.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next to my favorite librarian, Mrs. Novel. So it's funny you bring up the foster parent situation of it all because Deborah Gregory was raised in foster care until she was 18. So that it feels like that character is based on her personal experiences. Now, in a review that I'm gonna reference later, they do say like in the books it's handled with more like self-empowerment out of the foster care storyline, whereas like this it's clearly just used for like sympathy, right? But it's like the first movie, like there's not a ton you can like really do with it.
Yeah. I feel like if you made the movie now, the plot would be about she's in foster care and such a thing as a result of that, or the foster care is in like, it could be like, oh, my foster parent doesn't have like the legal right to let me travel the country. Like that would be the problem, and not like this big reveal of like, I'm in foster. She's like yelling in an alley, I'm in foster care. Like that part feels very odd to like make the whole reveal just be she's in foster care and not like there's a specific barrier that I'm facing due to the fact that I live in
especially since she's like, she loves her foster family. She has it seems like they have a good relationship. She likes taking care of like her siblings. She's like the Mrs. whatever her name was is like the only person that I've ever felt like a true parent.
She calls her mom. Yes. Like they have a great relationship, it seems like, and everything. So like it's I'm sure it's very difficult for children still to like tell their peers about it, even and worry that their peers aren't going to understand and all that stuff for sure. But it does feel a little bit like. Yeah, like they make everything about the foster care situation like so lovely, and then she's like so ashamed of it at the same time. It's a little bit,
I'm gonna push back because I think what she's upset about is not the foster care situation. I think it's what it always comes back to is that her parents didn't want her, and that's why she's in foster care. And I think that is to purposely set up that the Chanel and her mom situation, which is like Chanel currently doesn't feel like her mom cares about her or whatever. So it's like used more as like a lesson for Chanel more than anything else. Like be grateful for what you have.
I really thought that Frenchman was going to break up with Chanel.
I love that we never see him. I'm obsessed with the fact that he is never on screen. It's so funny to me.
Or I thought the big reveal was that he was scamming her.
Or it was Jackson Jackal.
Or it was
Jackson Jackal and a mustache.
And a mustache and a French accent and a beret.
Let's listen to some bops.
Okay, so I want to start with the first song.
Yeah.
Which is called Together We Can.
When they did their local performance.
They do a little local performance like a birthday party, which I think is a very funny way to set up that they're like already established.
In the neighborhood. In the block.
On the block. But I'm going to say this is the worst song of the 4 songs that they sing in this movie. And I think it's smart to start with the worst one and just keep getting better as it progresses.
Molly is shocked.
I think it's good. Okay.
I don't think it's bad, but I think of the 4 songs, it's not the best one.
The other ones are better. Okay.
Hold on, sit tight. Are you ready for a crazy ride? You're on your own, it ain't right. Something's gotta give tonight. So if you wanna run and disappear, you and I can bust our way right out of here. Together we can shoot the moon, stop the rain, even ride a hurricane. If we wanna, together we can walk into space, save the human race. Do you think we oughta? Together we can shoot the moon, stop the rain.
I just don't like the lyrics. I don't think the lyrics are good. That's my biggest complaint.
Well, this is the song that got Toto out of the manhole. So,
it's true.
Think about that.
The power of Together We Can.
Yeah.
I mean, Adrian's got the voice. Like
Adrian's voice, it's so pop vocal, but it's so good. Raven is perfectly fine. I think she's like a competent, good singer, but it's like she kind of just sounds like Raven singing.
Yeah.
Adrian is like a singer. It's so good. It's clear that like once I was like, oh, she was in 3LW, I was like, oh, that makes sense. They just like pulled her. And then once the spot was open from Solange not doing the show, they were like, well, let's just reach out to your bandmate that you already know, Kiely.
Right. Yeah.
So poor the other girl who I guess was like, oh, okay, so I don't get to be in the Disney movie.
But that girl was kind of like main vocal.
The third girl,
The third
3LW.
girl, yeah.
It's
And that girl went on to be Kamala Harris.
everybody vote. So the I like the scene. I will say, going back to the foster care scene of it all, I actually was a little bit. I was like, I liked their performances. I thought they like sold that scene. I'm such a sucker for like a music swell with sympathy, blah blah blah. Like I am very susceptible to that. So I acknowledge that.
This is an Adam watched it on the plane moment. I'm sorry.
I was also 30,000 feet in the air.
I think
so
the
elevation change.
I think out of performance wise, Sabrina Bryan was definitely the most child actor. Like, but da. Like, she. Oh, I'm the shrimpy and white one. Like,
yes.
Like that was
and she's not shrimpy and white in the books, by the way. She is half Japanese, half black in the books. And I think also the writer might be, I think that's like also, yeah, I think she is too. Okay. That's why I was like, I think this is really based on that character specifically. Because
there is something like the way she's styled in this movie, you're like, maybe she isn't white. Like there's something like, oh, she could be like mixed race. And so I think it's interesting that it ends up being aligned. Now it makes sense that like, you know, the original writer was from the foster system too. But she's like, I don't know who I am. That's like that's kind of the point. Like, I don't know who I am because I didn't have a family.
I mean, the funniest part of that scene though is that
Chuchi was fully like, it's okay to be mixed race, honey. It's 2003.
So she thought that was the secret.
The secret was that
it's
my
funny.
mom's black.
I really felt like it was a very like late 90s, early 2000s thing to be like, oh, the white character is the one that's in the foster care system. Like, bet you weren't expecting that.
Yeah.
And it's the white girl. So
and
like,
the doctor was a woman. So what do you think now?
Yeah. I think like, acting wise, I think Raven and Adriana were my favorite like acting performances.
Yeah.
The best acting performance in this, besides obviously drinking champagne, is Toto.
Oh,
Toto is putting in a full performance in this. There's a part where Toto, they're like, go lay down, and she lays down just
perfectly in the bed,
just so they can have an excuse to not have a dog on the bed while they're filming the rest of that scene. Like they're like, go lay down so we can get you out of the shot. It's great. I love it. I love Toto. Toto dancing during Cinderella. Come on.
Amazing.
I do like that Raven, like Galleria's character. Like it was really interesting for me to the like turn to diva. Like I guess I didn't expect that. I really didn't know what like the main complication of the whole thing is. I know that like they're gonna I knew that like, oh, they're gonna break up at some point or for some reason. It didn't come to me that it would be like hubris of her. I thought it was going to be like her mom really kind of like, oh, it's going to be Sister Act 2. It's like the mom does not want you to do the stream.
Yes.
But it ended up being like she kind of like learns a life lesson all on her own by being like, yes, like
Greek tragedy.
Yeah. It's very interesting.
I honestly, Galleria is too much, but her self-possession at 14, like I also kind of admired her. She
fully was doing her own
knew what
press.
to do to get this girl group going. I mean, like when she like did the phone call and she was like, wonderful, we'll expect your call back or whatever. I was like, honestly, like slay, do it. Walk it back when you're with your friends.
Right.
But like,
don't treat them like trash. But she had
you don't need to hold court at school at your lunchroom table or whatever.
But she had a full demo. She printed out, she like photoshopped a full like album cover.
They were like annoyed that she was like, I wrote the songs. They were like, well, she did ad libs. And I was like, okay, this girl is writing the songs. She's producing the music.
I think that Galleria was kind of fairly taking credit for the amount of work that she does for the group, honestly. But she just was being a little obnoxious about it. But like, I don't know. I think maybe she is the leader of the group.
But when she said that, she's like, I'm the leader and the producer of the group. I was like, oh yeah, that's clear. But I guess
it's actually weird. I think it's weird that it's set up they do not set up until that scene with Jackal that she has been kind of like the one she like has this streak in her where she like her plan always has to be the one to go through. It's like once he comes in and she has the line where she's like, I'm the leader of the group, and they cut to a shot of the three girls being like, ugh. That I almost was like, oh, I feel like you should have shown something before this moment to like explain that this is like a thing that she always does, constantly happening, because it's our first experience of her doing it, and you all are like, and I was like, oh, but this is, I don't know.
But it makes sense. Like, she has been acting like the leader.
Sort of, in the first scene, she's kind of organizing them and being like, you do this and then this. And like, she's like talking to Doe about like emailing her about what they're going to wear the next day. And Doria like makes an excuse because she doesn't have a computer and stuff. So like, I feel like she is kind of doing the producer work.
Yeah.
So again, I think they all need to stop rolling their eyes and like, are you all putting in the effort to make sure everybody shows up on time and in coordinated outfits? Because I don't think you are. I think Galleria is in fact the leader.
I also think it's fine for someone to be a leader. I feel like I'd be like, sure, have at it, girl. She's our leader.
It seems like the dynamic of the group is there's one person who like has the ideas and pushes it forward and whatever, and everyone else is like happy to go with the flow. And honestly, like that's the best dynamic often. And then to then like resent that person for taking credit for that work is, I don't know.
Ironically, in K-pop, there's always, in every K-pop group, there is like a person in the group who is designated the leader of the group. Like it's an official role in every K-pop group.
It's like kind of equity deputy, where it's like they are the representative for, like, for the team, management, you know,
they're the union go between,
for the union go between. But they're also the ones that are like making sure everyone's like,
because like if I think about it, any group that like any Western pop group,
there's like a lead.
There's a lead, but it's not necessarily like who is like who they all turn to, like in the same way.
Yeah,
which is why I feel like One Direction breaks up, because they're like, well, we all want to do different things, and there's not like a unifying idea of what we want to do. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Sorry to bring up trauma for the directioners out there.
The Zaniac. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, he was the one who did it. He was the one who left.
Wow.
Anyway, I like also in regards to this movie, which does feel of its time, late 90s, early 2000s. I mean,
the fashion alone, diva.
The fashion alone,
skirt
but also
over the jean, you know.
But also besides that, the like very, I don't want to say sweaty, because I don't think it's necessarily sweaty. I think it's sweaty in the way it's like brought up, but I think the rest of it's like it makes sense. But the like, this is a multicultural film. Like these four girls are from different walks of life, and yet they're all friends. This is what you see on your textbook at school. 4 different people hanging out together. That is very funny. And the way that they like address Galleria specifically being, because in the book, her mom is Black and her dad is Italian. But I feel like there was like a way to have done that where it wasn't so like, part of it was like, I was wondering if they did it because it's just in the book. So they were like, well, we have to do it for the movie for it, like her to explain why. But like, I just felt like it was like, it didn't need to be like, and my Italian dad who cooks pasta and says arrivederci every other line.
He was very Italian,
but we were already like, I mean, like,
but it's also a DCOM, so I'm like, everyone's kind of like over the top anyway.
Yeah, I think my biggest thing about Galleria's whole family is like,
I love her mom.
Her mom is great. She's fabulous, but like
Emmy winner.
It is like, it's crazy to be like, I know she was like being overprotective because I don't want you to be swindled by like the fame and fortune, especially since but it's like, but you're like supposedly like a fashion designer, right? Like they do live with like resources that if she really wanted to, she could probably like, Galleria could like access stuff that through her. But I don't know.
She
like,
could be a Nepo baby is what you're saying.
I'm just saying like, yeah, like it feels weird to be like, you have to do your chores. It feels like it's like forcing it. To me, it felt like if I was I don't know.
What are you saying?
I don't know what you're saying either.
I couldn't completely buy that. Like she wouldn't want her to be like also pursue fame and fortune.
Oh, I disagree. I actually think they do a really good job of like making it clear that she wants what's good for her, but she wants her to have like a regular life. That's the energy.
I just feel like the life that they were living was so lavish and over the top, but maybe this is like the DCOM of it, that I was like, well, you're already living in a life that is very glamorous.
Oh, I didn't think that she was living a glamorous life though.
I mean,
she is in the sense that they live in like a brownstone in New York. You all know that those are like crazy expensive.
But I don't think like an 11-year-old watching the Disney Channel would be like, they're rich.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Right. I feel like there are lots of famous people who say like, I don't want my kids to Or like, I'm okay with them being in the industry, but they have to be 18 first. Like, I'm not okay with my kids being child stars.
Get a college degree
that
first.
I feel like is a very, I've totally bought that because I feel like I've heard famous people in real life say similar things. Yeah. So I felt like that made a lot of sense. Yeah.
I felt like it made sense that she once confronted with it was like, well, let me have my lawyers look over this. Like, I actually was like, that like feels very like on the nose for what would happen.
The craziest line, the part where Galleria was the least sympathetic to me was when her mom was like, I'm gonna have my lawyer check this, and she was like, times have changed, Mom. And I was like, we have not advanced past lawyers reviewing contracts, girl. Times have not changed in that respect.
And that's why you're calling 1-800-RITA. 1-800-RITA for all your contract needs.
But also, like, times have changed. Like, that's why she's doing lawyers, because back in the day when she was getting
we needed more lawyers back in the day, girl.
There were no lawyers back then, girl. People were just doing handshake deals. Like, hello. Yeah.
I mean, if she had said like, Mom, I don't want you to ruin our one shot, I would be like, I understand. Like, it's really scary when you've got the one, is this ever going to come around again or whatever? But like, times have changed. What are you talking about, girl?
Yeah. If I was to say what actually I genuinely think is like the least believable thing about this entire film, it's the amount of confidence a group of freshmen have. Like, they are 4 freshmen and they feel like they rule the school. And I'm like, in what world? In what world? Yeah. Not me.
Let me say this too. Drinka is obviously my favorite character and the best part of the whole movie. And every moment she's on the screen is a gift.
Genuinely, Molly, on the short list for MVP of the year for the Showies. For sure.
Absolutely.
However, her reaction to these girls telling her that they will not be in her school talent show anymore is uncalled for. I don't understand. She is Galleria. Okay. They audition for the talent show. At the audition for the talent show, the talent scout shows up, Jackal, and he's like, I'm a producer. I want you to come in, record a demo, blah, blah, blah. Drinka is like excited about this.
He was
and then when Galleria's like, hey, we can't do the talent show anymore because that's when we're going to record our demo. Drinka is so betrayed by the concept that they would give up a school talent show to record an actual record demo. I was like, flabbergasted. Now,
I stand with Drinka. I stand with Drinka. If you say you're going to do something, you do it.
Because she keeps her word.
That's crazy. That obviously sometimes in life a bigger opportunity comes up and you got to say this is the priority right now.
Jackal Jackson, honey, not with Jackal Jackson or Jackal Johnson.
And
Jackson.
But I will say that the place where I do agree with Drinka is that it is buck wild that the context of Galleria telling her we're actually not going to make the talent show is that they have shown up for rehearsals for the talent show and then said, we're going to use this time to rehearse our other thing that we're doing. Yeah. That's not how rehearsal works, sweetheart. You can go to any room in this school and rehearse your new song. Literally. Why are you taking up these people's time in talent show rehearsal to rehearse for your recording that won't be in the talent show? That's weird. I don't understand that, but Drinka, get over yourself. Yeah, they're going to do the record recording over your school talent show.
Also, technically,
but also,
Jackal did ask, like, does Saturday work? You could have just said, like, no, Saturday doesn't work.
We can do Sunday.
We can do Sunday.
Okay, no, that's crazy. Okay, let's, RJ, we all went to school for theater. If you
RJ's never said no to anything in his life, so
that's true.
That's true. You're a bad example. So, Adam,
yes.
If you were in a directing scene, but you got offered an audition for a Broadway tour at the same time as the directing scene, what would you do?
Is the directing scene for a grade?
No, I mean like you were in a friend's directing scene.
I see.
Like you just are doing them a favor. You're going to be in their scene.
You're about to play an old man and you can't take it with you.
Oh, I would I would do the audition so fast and make your head spin, girl.
And your friend would be like disappointed, but ultimately everyone would understand like there are priorities when you're in a performing context. Yeah. When a big opportunity comes along, everyone understands sometimes you have to back out of things, even if it disappoints your friends, right? Like that's.
I think the real undercurrent though is that Gallery has the craziest attitude through the whole. I mean, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of the film is that Galleria has a real attitude problem.
I feel like we haven't actually discussed a real plot of a movie to this degree in many episodes. We're like so invested.
Definitely more than Gigi, girl. Definitely more than
Cheetah Girls world functions.
Yeah. Full debates. character studies.
We've had so many episodes recently where we're like, what can we talk about that's like kind of this film, but not really the film because we don't really want to talk about the film. And we're like, what is in the contract that Jacko offers them? I have to know.
But also, like, this is a very classic, like, I think Hollywood does this a lot where they write music people as being like so greasy and smarmy.
Yeah.
Like Hollywood views like music producers like regular people view used car salesmen. Like that is the like one-to-one. And I was listening to something. It must have been a podcast, and somebody was saying like, I feel like it happens a lot because they have so many experiences with shitty people in the entertainment industry, but can't do an exact one-to-one of like somebody they've met.
Know,
so they use like the music industry as like a way around it.
As like their, interesting.
He's like, it's weird because he is the antagonist of this movie, but I don't know if he really does anything like super villainous. He's kind of just like a capitalist and like, whatever. But he's not like, he doesn't like,
I mean, again, I do understand his perspective. Like he does want them to like totally change the whole band and the whole look and whatever.
To be like the Wiggles, basically.
Not for, but not because like of any like personal ill intent or anything like that.
That's
He's
what
just
we're
like,
looking for right now.
Marketable.
Yeah, that's what.
And I feel like that's a big thing when you become a music star is like that they just kind of like recreate your whole image and brand and everything, right? So
there's a marketing team, in
order for you to try and litigate 10 years later.
Speaking of the audition,
I would like very much. Oh no, wait. Can we, while we're on this, can you play a little bit of the song that they ask the girls to do?
The global song.
Because I have a follow-up to it that is going to blow your mind.
We go all around the world. We go all around the world. Where we everybody else.
All right, check this out. Deaf Duck Records presents Global Get Down all around the world.
All around.
This is gonna go platinum, titanium, uranium. It is animal friendly, vegetable friendly, mineral friendly. This is brilliant. I can smell the millions. Oh yeah, that's it. Oh, feel it, come on. Oh yeah, sing it. All around the world.
So I want you to remember the beginning of that because I listened to it and I was like, what does this remind me of? And I'm about to show you what it reminds me of, and you are not going to believe me. Like there's something I couldn't believe when I figured out what it was that it reminded me of.
Yeah, that's like pretty fucking close. Minus the like updated beat for like 2018 or whatever. Yeah.
I don't know if it like is just parallel invention or if there was like actually some royalty free melody that exists somewhere in a database for people making music somewhere. But like, it seems like the same and like kind of being used in a similar way of like, that's supposed to be the musical thing that the rap is responding to.
Yeah.
So,
Well, because it's purposefully bad in Cheetah Girls. Like it's supposed to sound really fucking like corny. That's
How did you feel about the masks? Are they in the...
This would never... Can we be very clear? This would never market. This would never be marketable. If you had guys, you could market it. Like that's very like the Monkeys or like Dead Mouse. Like, you know what I mean? Like you could definitely do something with, I think, guys more than, but like 4 girls and you're going to cover them up with masks. Like America would revolt. America feels very, America feels like it deserves to look at pretty girls. That's the energy America gives. This is America. Okay.
This is America. Yeah.
Say that.
I do think, I feel like the masks are a real impediment to observing anyone performing, which it feels like is
I mean, it's funny that he was like, "Oh, you could lip sync," and I'm like, "You wouldn't even need to.
You can't do it.
You're doing like movement work at that point. You're in Susan Felder's class at Loyola. Like, what are we talking about?"
Also, like, I love that Raven was like, when they said that I could just lip sync, I knew it wasn't for me. I knew I had to get out of there. I was like, wow, stand up for your principles, diva. You're vocalist. Also, my biggest thing about this song is, so she plays it to like the fucking, I thought first was like a singer of the like rival music group in the school, the like hot blonde guy. They have this moment where she like sings like to him like, oh yeah, they want me to sing this song. And then she plays it a little bit and he's like, oh yeah, that's corny. You're corny pop stuff or whatever. And then they sing their song and it's corny rap. It's like, so hey, funny. To my people,
it's weird
and listen to my DJ. I'm like, oh,
it's rap from like 10 years.
Yeah.
Previous.
The way they built
you don't understand the street, RJ. You don't know what it's like who grew up on the street and how that
white man grew up on the street.
That white man grew up on the streets.
Yeah.
Because
he calls her his boo, and I was like, because
the entire time I thought that he was gonna be like, I'm a real musician. Like I thought it was gonna be like emo-y, like singer-songwriter vibe.
But it still had,
and then you would have thought that wasn't silly if that's what it was.
Well, but here's the thing: is like it still has that energy of like he looks down on them a little bit because it's like pop,
yeah.
And I always hate when it's like, why are
you're bopping to these songs?
What are we doing?
Look at everyone.
Who cares?
Everyone in the fucking block is bopping and dancing.
No one is throwing ass to your rap, girl. No one, not a soul.
Todd in the Shadows just did a really interesting video about Kendrick's diss track on Drake. What is it called? Not Like Us. They're Not Like Us. And it's existence is the nail in the coffin of poptimism, of the movement in music criticism of treating pop as equally important as other genres of rap, because basically the core, obviously there are some other accusations levied in that song, but the core message is really like, your pop music is not as good as what I make. And like that it's like basically everybody coming down on the side of like, actually, yeah, pop music does not have a soul and I'm not interested in it.
I'm interested, Drake.
I'm interested in pop, but I don't need soul to come from pop. Do you know what I mean?
Well, and also in this video, he talks about pop's emergence as legitimate because of its connection to the gay community and the prominent, and like the acceptance of the gay community as like a minority group that needs to be acknowledged and thought of, basically.
Period.
So,
Kylie Minogue. Okay, she threw the first brick at Stonewall.
Nobody died at Stonewall.
No one died.
Yeah, like this is a poptimistic podcast, and we will always stand for pop music, except for ABBA.
Except for
personally,
ABBA.
but otherwise, yes.
But everyone else.
Speaking of pop music, we should listen to "Girl Power," an obvious
bop
of
anthem.
Pop.
This is going to be our new theme song, actually, right?
This is the new theme song for the show, for sure. So good.
It is purely like the same vein as like I wanna be bad. Like it's like those like early 2000s.
Yes, it's so 2002. Yeah, it's so good.
I don't agree.
You don't think it's good?
I think this is the worst song.
Is it the lyrics are so cringy?
Yes, it's the lyrics. It is being called girl power, and the whole chorus.
Honestly, Molly, it sounds like you still
power.
have internalized femphobia.
I think no. I feel that this is to me Camila Cabello, Jeff Bezos.
This is Katy Perry, Woman's World. This is Katy Perry, Woman's World.
This is the point. Like, what in this song? What other lyric in the song is about girl power? Like, what am I learning about girl power? In what way am I being empowered?
Well, it's also weird.
You just are saying the words girl power, and that's supposed to mean something to me, and I don't need your empty
girls throwing their hands up. That's empowering.
Okay.
That's how you know you're a star.
That's how you know you're a star, because my hands are in a power pose.
I think this
musically, the like R&B, lovely.
Yeah.
Great.
I'm all here for the music of it. It is the lyrics that I can't stand.
The lyrics are bonkers.
Not Gallery's best. Not Gallery's best.
It was the first draft for sure.
Yeah. But she was on a time crunch
in high school.
Yeah.
She doesn't know what she needs to write about.
Look, she's in Jackal Johnson's office. I need her to take this seriously. Okay,
that's true.
Time is money.
Yeah.
I like this song a lot, but I agree. The weird thing about this movie musical, because it is a movie musical, is that
it's a cine
musical, is that the songs have nothing thematically to do with the film. Except for, I guess, technically,
Together We Can.
Together We Can.
The greatest musical.
But only because
the greatest musical ever written.
Only because it is used to save Toto, which we have to talk about.
And they do it together.
Because they can.
That is some Stephen Sondheim level stuff right there.
He was crying when he watched this for the first time.
Who wrote the music for this?
You just checking if it's Sondheim, actually?
Yeah, wait.
Yeah, Stephen Sondheim.
No,
it's
John Van
Sonically,
John Van Tongeren could do Follies, but
Stephen Sondheim
could not do Cheetah Girls, to be honest.
Stupid.
I'm sorry, Stephen. I'm obviously being sarcastic.
I'm not.
Rest in power, King.
Rest in power, King.
Never do Cheetah Girls.
I mean, okay, yeah.
I'm sure if at its prime, if we were like, could you write
Steven, excuse me.
Knock, Mr. Sondheim. Mr. Sondheim, you call line one. Can you be?
No.
Yeah, we're looking for this is Mr. Disney.
Let me get Bradley Whitford in here to do his
Steven Sondheim impression. I think this song is fun. I think this is very fun.
I think Cinderella is my favorite song out of all of them.
Cinderella's the best song.
Yeah.
For sure. That one I feel like does have like more of a kind of but it's kind of the same song, really.
Yeah.
It is saying the same idea, which is like, I'm a girl, but I don't have to
But it's not literally just saying the words girl power.
Right.
I think I actually just think I hate the phrase girl power. I know that it was a Spice Girls thing. I respect the Spice Girls, but like, I just feel like it's an empty.
Like you don't respect the Spice Girls.
Don't come for me.
Is Spice
Don't come for me on
World?
this podcast.
Well, Spice World.
Do you
is
know how
not
many controversial opinions I've expressed on this podcast? Don't also pay me with an anti-Spice Girls brush, because then no one will listen anymore.
I've never once seen you use a spice rhetoric in your food. Bland bitch.
That's not being white. That's not about being that's not about being a feminist. Okay.
Yeah.
I just think that it's such a
tweet on the nose.
It's so on the nose. It's so
you're getting
the only part of the message we've gotten to is just like, you should feel empowered, but like, we'll get back to you with details. Like it doesn't.
It's also weird. Like
for me.
My thing is like, this is the song that's the demo that they want to record for Jackal Johnson.
So this is the song that she wrote in like a week.
Which makes sense why the lyrics are bad. Like, listen, it's definitely first draft for sure. But I feel like why are they singing this? I think that's my issue, is that like genuinely the songs have nothing to do with the plot. And I understand that it's like it's not a musical. It's
where it's
like
not driving plot forward. Yeah,
but like to because it's not like, it is not like it is a movie about the four of them being treated different because they're girls.
Yeah.
Like that is not included in the film either. Because if it was, then I would be like, oh, that's what it's like kind of also referencing. But it's not. It doesn't do that at all.
I mean, it is paralleling like Do Re Mi, right? Like they all kind of have individual dream, or it's like the realization that they all have individual dreams, and it's not just like this one. They don't have one unified dream as Cheetah Girls. But then they do end up unifying at the end.
Well, this is what I actually think the largest plot problem, and I can't believe we're still talking about the plot of this film. this 93-minute film. I think the biggest problem with this,
we're past the amount of the buildings. Okay.
I think what's crazy is that the biggest plot problem for me is that like Galleria is the one in the wrong. She's the one steamrolling everything. She's the one that learned the lesson, right? But her friends are also wrong. They don't take the job eventually, but they are wrong to also go with Jackal
at that moment.
Because they're all a bunch of yes women. That's how Galleria has
and that's why they need a leader.
And that's why they need a leader.
Yeah.
And Galleria did nothing wrong. And I'm going to stand by that.
Stand by that, queen. Girl power.
It felt like girl power. That's her go. You better stand up. See? Are you kidding about it? Finally understanding.
No, I'm sorry. I don't feel empowered. I'm still waiting to feel empowered.
She wanted it to be girl boss. Girl boss. I feel, look, we all know that I was Galleria as a child. That's clear to everybody. As a child. Yes, that ended a childhood, Molly. Continue.
I don't feel very empowered right now by how being treated in this room, okay?
It feels like it's the right note to give to Galleria, but at that moment, she was right.
Yes, that's why I think it's like weird. It's not.
So it was like weird to be like, wait, but yes, in a way, to know that note.
In a way, I'm impressed that they did it this way because normally in DCOMs it's so clean. Like it's so like here's the obvious choice. Da 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 da. Like it's a little bit interesting. That
except DCOM BIES 3, which has, I think, the most nuanced message of any film we've ever watched.
Sure.
But yes, in general,
right? The pre-DCOM BIES 3 DCOMs is what I'm saying. Specifically.
Right,
typically are very like, here's the obvious choice. You're supposed to take the obvious choice. You don't take the obvious choice. You suffer the consequences. Then you get the obvious choice. But like, it's interesting that like they're all kind of the protagonists. Them as a group, the Cheetah Girls are all the protagonists. So it's interesting that they're all kind of wrong a little bit in this.
Yeah.
Well, and also the real mistake Galleria makes, even though I said she's done nothing wrong, but theoretically the mistake that she's done is that she declares she doesn't say, Jackal, we need a minute to talk about it. Like that's really what she should have done.
She's like,
I think the choice to walk away from, if the only deal is we got to do the global get down thing, we think this isn't the right fit for us. I think that's the right decision. But she shouldn't just declare for the group what the group is going to do.
You don't think the biggest mistake she makes in this is when Chuchi cleans off her shoe and then she pats her on the head and walks out of the bathroom? You don't think that's the biggest mistake in this movie?
No, I think that was perfect.
Because that's what Molly would do. That is a Molly move.
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
That's what I would do to this day.
Thank you. Yeah. Great.
Or her like diss to Doe that was like, I printed you off a Pinterest mood board of the clothes that you should wear, you fucking like mess.
Let me say this. Doria looks the same as every other girl in terms of the clothes that she's wearing.
I was like, she is wearing exactly what everyone else is wearing. I'm
just
confused.
At least it's such a Disney Channel thing that they're like, we have to make them all look in these crazy layers of clothes. That we in 2003. Yes. They all have to be
early
like enviable.
Layers, yeah.
But just like give Doria a couple of things that she actually wears again and again. Like make us actually see the difference in her visual. She doesn't have to be like dirty or something. Like
she has to be dirty and illiterate. That's the rule.
Leah Michelle wasn't playing the role, so they didn't make her illiterate. But
I think that's enough time has passed. I think we can look back now and think that was
funny.
Stupid.
I think it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
We made jokes about it. It's fine.
Yes.
The point is like give her like a red shirt and a blue shirt and like actually make us notice that she's showing up in the same clothing and be like, oh, that is like, or like she's just wearing like a t-shirt and jeans and everybody else has like layers of things, right? Like you could do a lot to just be like her clothing's just sort of more simple and like less varied. Right. And that
I actually thought it
visually makes sense.
You said in your summary, RJ, that she has a job or she needs to do whatever because she needs to provide
because she says like, I really need the money, but also like she's talented enough to dance at
I think
tour.
She needs the money. She needs the money to like pay for dance
classes,
lessons, not like for food for her family.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I'll retract.
It's just like she's got all the basics. There's just nothing extra in her household for stuff like dance lessons. Yeah.
I did think that
10 foster kids.
Could you fucking?
Well, that's what I was afraid of
crazy.
at first. I thought it was going to be a bad situation because it's like, what if it's a Miss Hannigan situation?
I mean, also like, how big is that apartment?
I mean, it is nice that like none of these girls are like in danger. None of them are abused. Like there's no like stakes in that regard where like any of them are in danger. Like it's all very
really
nice.
It really is like,
way.
can you like?
It's just like people because I mean genuinely like most people I would say probably over a majority in foster care, right? Probably don't want to be in foster care, but they're not necessarily all being abused, right? Like, so it was like nice to be like, oh, okay, I don't have to worry about it being like, and also another thing. Yeah.
I do wish that she took the tour. I don't know. At the end, I was like, because she was like, well, my instructor also got the tour, so she's just going to do it. And I'm just going to, and she said I could take all of like the beginner classes. I'm like, well, you were clearly good enough not to take the beginner class because the guy who directs the dance team was like, hey, there could be parts
she's going to teach the beginner classes.
She's teaching it. Oh, okay. That makes so much sense now.
I had a half second of also the way the line was written. I was like, you're going to just like take
beginner's
classes? Like, I don't
classes?
understand how that, but she meant like, I'm going to become the instructor. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. That's good. As long as she gets paid for her talent, because her little, you know, like, shall we dance or whatever moment where she was just like doing her little dance montage.
Well, also the amount of time she does a round off in this film is so funny.
I know.
That they keep being like, this is the cool thing she can do.
Yeah.
Which is it's very great.
Like just in the middle of the street. I mean, like, bye guys.
Yeah. I'm glad that we have the information about how this foster home she lives in is like the best home she's ever had, and she really cares about it. She cares about the friendship and everything, because it is kind of crazy that she turns down the dance tour, but it makes sense in the context of this is actually like a really good situation for me, and I'm not ready to sort of like go on tour where I'd be leaving again and more disruption and everything like that. So
like they still have to go through.
Let's listen to RJ's favorite song, Cinderella.
Sure.
A little bit. And then we have to talk about this finale. We have to talk about the end of this film.
Almost 2 hours in. I think we should finally talk about it.
I would save her and end up with the glory. I'd lie in bed and think about the person that I wanted to be. Then one day I realized the fairy tale life wasn't for me. I don't wanna live like Cinderella, sitting in a cold dusty cellar, waiting for somebody to come and set me free. Come and set me free. I don't wanna be like some old lady, boy, there's a prince to come and save me. Oh, I will survive unless somebody's on my side. Don't wanna look no one else. I'd rather rescue myself.
Iconic.
we need harmonies like this back in pop music.
We need harmonies like this back in pop music. We need bridges back in pop music.
Thank you.
But I will also say, I remember listening to the song, how overplayed it was on Disney Channel.
Oh my God, it was so
like,
overplayed.
I am almost still a little bit sick of it listening to it now 20 years later.
Yeah. It's also funny that every time they go into singing a song in this movie, it is shot the exact same way. Like it's shot, they all walk up to the camera.
Yes.
It's shot like a TLC music video.
So that they can clip it and then just play it on the
Yes,
channel.
100%. It's so clear that that's why they did it that way.
It was
so
like,
funny.
it's like Vanessa Hudgens' song in High School Musical.
Yes,
like ballad.
The ballad, yeah.
Yeah, where it's like, oh, and we're in a music video.
The Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Yeah.
So Toto, okay. Toto runs away from Graziella. What's her name? Garibaldi. Galleria Garibaldi.
Because she
That
was
is her
so
full name.
distracted that Global Get Down is happening.
Global Get Down is happening. She saw it in a window.
Yeah.
So this is like 3 days
She's also
after the interview. They've already announced.
She's also she's a bad dog owner. We've established that.
Yes.
Yes, that has actually been established in this film up to this point. She's a bad dog owner.
Yeah.
Toto runs away, falls into a construction site hole.
Mm-hmm.
She flags down a cop who's like, oh, this isn't good. And then calls for backup. And the next thing we know is there is a news crew reporting on the traffic backup from this dog being trapped. And I'm all for it. It's a DCOM. It's stupid. It's goofy.
Raise the stakes. Yeah,
raise the stakes, whatever. This is so funny. It's already goofy. The fact that the way that they get Toto out is that they sing to him is hilarious. It is peak comedy. I could not, when it was happening, I was like, this cannot be how this movie is ending right now. They are across from the school. It's so wild. They're across from the school. They have to cut the power. The talent show's happening. The power gets cut during the talent show. They all come out because it's on the news and everyone knows it's Toto in the well.
And when the power comes back on in the school, it makes a projection come on to the
TV. The local news just comes on in the theater.
To show the local news, yeah.
And then everyone has seen it at home. So all of the other Cheetah Girls, even though they were mad at Galleria. They were mad at Galleria. They all come to her assistance.
And they are all happening to wear cheetah print
multicolored.
This
is iconic.
The headband. Oh,
the headbands. And then they sing him out and then they get out. And then they just right after this decide that they won the talent show.
Which is unfair. Drinka, you made the wrong decision.
I don't think they should have won. I actually think, I almost think the audience wouldn't have cared that they didn't win.
No, of course not.
Because
it was
the
never
girls
about the
had
damn
not
talent
cared
show
about it.
They weren't in it.
Yeah.
Right.
They explicitly stated that it was no longer their priority. It can still end with getting a call from Jackal and they pass around the phone being like, you tell Jackal Johnson we are not available or whatever. Like that could still be in it. That could just happen outside.
Yeah. I also think the other thing that happens too is like there's a line where Drinka's like, by unanimous vote. I was like, Isn't it just you? I thought it was just you who just decides? Like, that's what I assumed up to this point.
Look, how big a deal is this talent show is really the question.
Well,
because we talked about Drinka. Yeah.
They said there's a demo. Like you get to record a demo as the prize.
Win a demo.
But she already self-recorded their demo. Didn't she, technically?
So I don't know. I don't know how this works.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a magnet school.
It is a magnet school.
Yeah. So it's like a big deal.
Resources.
I went to a magnet school.
We open. Okay, I didn't go to a magnet school, so maybe I just don't. I'm not in on the lingo or whatever. But like they opened the movie by performing at a children's birthday party. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I was in talent shows when I was a child, but I never performed at a child's birthday party. So to me, that's already a level above if you're doing gigs.
Yes, exactly.
A talent show.
Yeah.
But I guess this is a very serious talent show.
Yeah, because she's...
Yeah, I don't know.
Jackal Johnson comes into the school during the tryouts for the talent show. And it's like, well, I always love to see the talent show here at my alma mater. And I was like, I have never once past graduation thought about stepping... Well, now I can't step back inside my high school because it's closed. But I have never thought about going back to high school. Like, let me just look at the old gals.
Or if you give me the old gals.
I can't emphasize enough how little Jackal Johnson's voice resembles the impression that
an old timey.
This is my actual Jackal Johnson impression.
Okay.
Hey guys, how you doing? Let me show you a contract. It's like that.
What are you doing?
Can I tell you? Wait, the guy who plays Jackal Johnson, he's Tuxedo Mask. He's the dubbed Tuxedo Mask in Sailor Moon.
So voice actor. It's as if if we were very successful Broadway producers, which could still be in the cards for us. You never know.
We reference it all the time.
We've got all these ideas. It's like if we went to New Student Showcase at Loyola to be like, I just want to see the local talent. And I signed someone to be like, hey, you're going to be the star of my Broadway tryout.
Yeah. The star of my tryout.
Yeah.
The star of the tryout. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's a big... Is it supposed to be like the Fame School?
That's what I think they're trying to do.
But if it was the Fame School, you wouldn't... Doe would be dancing. Do you know what I mean? She's dancing at a Y.
Oh, why are they doing that at school?
Yeah. So I think that
they should be just doing those lessons there. Yeah.
But I was under the impression that the prize was you get to do a demo of some kind.
Yeah.
So then
that's a pretty big deal. I mean, I think studio time is very expensive, right? So that would be a pretty big deal. Also, it does make it a music competition. It's not a talent show.
Right.
Because if you had a different if you were a juggler, then they had a recording.
Yeah, they had a stand-up comedian. So I mean, I guess you could record that.
Yeah, technically. Yeah. It's not usually something that starts off your comedy career. It's releasing an album.
The album. I thought random plot stuff that just dropped was when Jackal comes, the little kid on the board and it was like Chanel's little brother. It was like, hey, I'm the Cheetah Girls manager. And they like pushed him off.
Oh yeah, I liked him.
I liked him, and then it never appeared.
He never came back.
Because I thought we were going to get a full like smart guy character. Like,
yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
But
They in the book series, they go to Fashion Industries High School. So it's
Fashion
like it's like a
Industries,
it's like FIT.
FIT's
but like
magnet school.
Yeah.
None of them really do fashion. Galleria's mom does fashion, but
well, they're all living a fashionable lifestyle. Molly, did you watch the film?
Well, I wonder if
I did. I saw those jeans under skirts.
I wonder if that was I mean, that could have been interesting if like Galleria's mom is like, I don't want you to do music. It's so beneath us. We're artistes. We're fashion people.
That would be a pretty wild plotline. Yeah.
That is so funny. You did not like that plotline.
I don't know. I don't know if it was like, I think it was just interesting how many complications that they were adding. Because I really thought they were just going to run with that. But it ended up almost kind of being a red herring because it really was truly about like Galleria's.
Yeah, it kind of didn't matter that her mom was against it ultimately. Like it gave her something to do to like argue with her mom about it, but it didn't actually.
And
it was just another avenue for her to like be a brat, basically.
And I guess you could say like maybe some of her taking up all the space in the room has to do with the pressure she's feeling from her mom, that she feels like she has to make sure it all goes perfectly because her mom's so critical of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like her mom's opposition to it really doesn't impact the way that it plays out in any way.
Mm-hmm.
No. But the actress that plays her mom is like also very famous. She was Eve's Bayou.
Yes.
I was looking in.
Yeah. I liked her a lot. I liked her mom a lot.
Yeah.
I actually liked Chuchi's mom too. I liked her kind of like spazzy,
frazzly energy.
Frazzled, yeah. The like, although it's okay. I want to say this. I want to say one thing. She gave her daughter a credit card and was like, go buy us stuff. And then she got mad
like,
that she bought stuff. Why would you give your daughter a credit card?
That didn't
also,
hold up
in 2003, sorry, weren't we like swiping? They like do a montage and they use the
we were still doing.
Oh, yeah.
We were still doing the carbon copies in 2003.
I remember.
I think you guys were still doing carbon copies.
No, I remember seeing it in America when I first moved.
In New York?
I don't remember being aware of money really in 2003.
I remember that one time when I worked at Barnes and Noble in Evanston, the power went out, and so they were like, "You have to get out the like carbon copy thing from the back."
And you worked at Barnes and Noble when you were 11 years old?
No, I worked there when I was like, when we were in college.
20.
But,
yes, do you see the point that I'm making though?
But I'm saying that was the first time in my life I'd ever seen it.
But you.
So this is what I'm saying. They weren't doing this in 2003.
It was old technology when you were in college.
Still had it.
Because it was from when you were 11.
But I'm saying when I was 11, I had never seen this before.
But like how aware were you of like how your parents paid for stuff when you were 11?
Just take the damn L, girl.
Like I was aware that like money was involved in getting goods and services, but I wasn't like paying. I wasn't like
I don't care about you. Rita or
was.
Nancy, please let us know that if clothing stores in New York City in 2003 would swipe a credit card or if they would still be doing carbon copies. The carbon copies honestly felt like it was just B-roll that they threw into the montage.
Yeah.
That they had on file. There are some shots where it's like clearly establishing shots that are from like recorded on like a cassette tape from like something else. Like they just like had it on file. So they used it. You know what I mean? Like it like the quality changed in the middle of the shot. It's very funny.
Yeah.
But she said it declined. So did she not swipe in the movie?
I don't know how.
Because she said she was trying to buy something.
How did cards decline?
How did cards decline if you were just...
I don't know. Molly seems to have all the fucking answers. So Molly, why don't you let us know?
It's called an...
I'm not saying I have the answers. You're the one that's claiming that you know for a fact that we were swiping.
We were swiping in 2003. We were swiping.
I'm the one that's saying that we don't know
that. They continued to be used well into the 2000s for places where...
places where...
network access was difficult.
Network access was difficult.
Like
New York City.
Famously Gucci at New York City, which is I'm assuming is where she was shopping.
Manhattan is an island.
Yes,
it's like Alcatraz.
People forget you have to import goods in.
Cables,
absolutely.
cables have to get.
Yeah, it's an island. You forget that
There's not a lot of people that live there.
No,
too.
You forget.
Yeah.
It's very rural.
Yeah.
The rural Jimmer. Did you know it's the only city in the world?
Wow. This joke is taking like every direction it could possibly. Like we're so inconsistent with what we're trying to rip.
I know.
We're just ad-libbing.
And
Just
that's
like,
good comedy.
just like
Yeah.
And that's comedy, honey.
Yeah, that's comedy.
well, is there anything else left to say about this film?
No, play us off with Cheetah Forever or whatever it was called. Cheetah Sisters.
Cheetah Girls.
Cheetah Sisters.
On Rotten Tomatoes, it says it's 75%. It is not a Rotten Tomato. It's just 75%.
It's just a whole tomato.
It's just a tomato. I was going to say it's certified fresh, but it's definitely not certified fresh.
Just,
It's a nice caprese salad.
it's a
Yes.
nice, it's a tomato that's been there for a few days, but it's not too mushy yet. It's still
on the vine.
yeah.
I found two critic reviews from 2003. So it's very funny to be like, what did people who were writing about a Disney Channel original film saying about this movie in 2003? So Lauren Fries from Variety says, this urban fairy tale about diverse high school girls coming together in a singing group should be a send-up of today's cult of celebrity. But any lessons about the evil trappings of pop stardom, not to mention lip syncing, most definitely will be lost on the American Idol generation since they totally escaped the filmmakers. Ironically, Cheetah Girls supposedly denounces manufactured pop music and marketing over artistry, yet it plays like a 2-hour fashion commercial and culminates in a ridiculous lip syncing extravaganza.
Did she call lip syncing evil? Is that what I'm understanding from that sentence?
She says the evil trappings of pop stardom, not to mention lip syncing. Yes, she did call it evil. It is, and it is
okay,
evil.
wow.
She's a big Tom Hooper stan. She would years later, Lauren Fries would go on to love that Tom Hooper made Les Mis and made them sing.
Yeah, she would actually become Tom Hooper.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess that's an opinion.
I just feel like this is such an angry opinion, and I guess like what was 2003 the first year of American Idol?
I don't believe so. Hold on.
I was going to make fun of her for being like, this is a generational issue.
2002.
Okay.
So yeah.
Wow. I was going to make fun of her for calling this a generational issue, but we did just say that we will defend pop music to the death earlier on this podcast. So maybe it is a generational divide. I don't know.
Yeah, this feels very Gen X.
Yeah.
Ugh. Sorry you guys were looked over. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry you were ignored and told to go outside.
We had fun in our childhood.
Sorry you were told to drink out of the hose in the garden. I don't know. I don't know why that's such a big thing for you people. So that was one review that I didn't really love, but I thought it was interesting. And then Lynn Heffley from LA Times, written by Allison Taylor, directed by Oz Scott, and executive produced by Deborah Martin Chase and Whitney Houston, this upbeat film makes suspension of disbelief a mite difficult. For starters, singing a trapped dog out of a hole is a bit much, and a group this fab would already be on the charts. But the attractive melting pot cast, the emphasis on character building and respect for oneself and others, the clothes, the songs, the clothes, and did I mention the clothes, are simply cheetah-licious. Fans of the books will notice many changes, including the omission of the fifth cheetah and the placing of Galleria rather than Chanel at front and center. But author Gregory's healthy, empowering spirit of Cheetah Girl power shines through.
Okay. Nice.
There is a level that there is a bunch of not real slang that's used in this. Obviously, I would say the best concept of this is Clueless, of the slang that's not real, but they just came up with stuff because it's so good.
Yeah.
And it becomes it's fun for them to come up with this slang.
No one is referring to New York City as the Jiggy Jungle. Just no one's doing it. So I don't think that passed the smell test for a lot of people. When were the books
published?
99 was the first one.
Oh, okay. Because
Y2K.
Jiggy Jungle just feels so funky.
Jiggy, get jiggy with it. Like that feels, of a time for sure.
It was a word that we used.
It was a word that was used for sure. It's just like, like no one would say bootylicious today. I don't even know if people say booty. Do people say booty anymore?
No, we say ass.
I haven't
They
heard.
say eat that ass.
Well, I don't think.
Wow. Okay.
I don't think I've heard the word.
I don't think I have anything to say to that.
I don't think I've heard the word booty in a while. I think that's accurate.
But on Letterboxd, this film has a
people.
2.9 out of 5.
Oh.
Wow.
I got some good ones here. This is from Allison. They say no shade or disrespect, but if I was watching this shit at home on the news and a dog fell in a hole and then these teen girls in matching velour tracksuits started doing a whole performance for the huge crowd that had somehow gathered, my thought wouldn't be, oh, they're so talented. I would be like, oh, they planned this. They threw that dog in a hole. Which is so funny.
Threw the dog in a hole.
I think if I genuinely had watched this movie like 10 years ago, I would have been so mad about the velour tracksuits because it would have been right at the time where that wasn't cute anymore. But now it's like back in
it's
and like
cute.
Back in fashion. Yeah.
it's so cute. Kristen says the amount of chaos this dumbass dog created by wandering into a hole. News reports, quote, paralyzing traffic, 17 cop cars, a SWAT team. I fucking love this movie.
People are very concerned with the dog plot line. They really care a lot about
I
that.
will say the dog plot line comes out of fucking nowhere. It hits this
Toto
movie like
starts
a
running.
No, it doesn't. We have established that she is a bad dog
No,
owner.
this comes out of nowhere.
It
She
was
doesn't
Chekhov's
walk
Toto.
the draw
It was
dog.
Chekhov's
Chekhov's
Toto when she forgets to lock him.
And she steps in dog poop.
And she steps
from
in dog
a different.
poop.
There's a thing
The
with Galleria and
hubris,
dogs.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's Greek tragedy.
Well, that's the scene where her mom's
it's
like, didn't I
symbolic.
always tell you that you need to wear comfortable shoes and then put your heels on at the door? And I was like, but you didn't do that.
You're wearing heels right
You're
now.
wearing heels right
dog-
now.
The dog is the symbol of a simple, normal life. And Galleria is in conflict with the dog
with
as a
it.
symbol of that because of her striving nature. And so when she strives beyond what will keep her safe in the domestic realm, it creates conflicts between her.
Oh my God, Adam. You are such a bitch. Adam, you're awful.
Is that a visual joke going to play to the listeners, or that was just for my benefit?
It was just for you.
Adam took me off the screen.
Adam took me off the
I took
call.
her off the call.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The last review is from Sydney, who gave it 3 stars and said, LMAO at all the dudes on here reviewing this, like, I'm an adult male, so I'm not the demographic for this. But watching it didn't make me want to kill myself. Here's my opinion nobody needs. 1 star. I think that's funny because this is not made for men.
A review of the other reviews. Yeah.
Yeah, not a review of the film, just a review of other people's reviews.
Yeah. We need more of that.
RJ, it's your birthday. I'll let you have the first MVP.
Thank you. I will pick Chuchi.
Adrian.
Yes. Adrian Ballon. I thought she was great. She's great voice. And I liked her. I just liked her performance a lot. And I did like her kind of,
I wanted that apartment. That's the apartment.
oh yeah. Because
loft.
that's like the loft. That's like the dream of like what a New York apartment is.
Your front door is just the elevator.
The elevator.
Yes.
Oh, so chic.
And
It's the only city in the world.
I liked her. I liked that her conflict more so than her mom was really like kind of. I thought it was interesting how she was like, oh, my friend is different now. I don't know. I liked her performance a lot.
I liked this. I actually really thought she was good in the scene. And it's this like the trope is used a lot in kids movies of like, I feel like my parents ignoring me and
Right.
whatever. But I thought the scene where she breaks down and is like, it felt like you didn't care about my dreams anymore. I thought that was played really well. And I liked that her mom then immediately was like, oh no. Like,
yes,
that,
like she immediately breaks out of it.
I liked that
Yeah.
scene a lot. I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
Molly, MVP?
Drink a
Drink
champagne.
The champagne. Yeah.
We've
So
said it
funny.
all. So funny.
The only one who's
so
like has
energetic.
like genuine comedy in this film.
Yes.
Yeah. I was happy every time she was on screen.
And I also liked that in the end when Galleria apologizes, she doesn't totally let her off the hook. Like she's like, well, now you know for next time. Like it's not like it's all okay. But she's like, well, you learned your lesson. So blah, blah, blah. Like I liked kind of that take on it.
I like that overall, that's kind of the lesson in the movie. Like these are like things that you're going to just learn.
Yeah.
And I think like even with Galleria's mom, it's like, I didn't want to have you to learn. Because she says like, I didn't want to have you to learn what it feels like to like have your dreams broken. Because like they have that line of like, I don't like, even the dad is like, well, no one's ever prepared to have their dreams broken or, you know.
Yeah.
And so it really is just about like just lessons that you have to learn.
The dad that cooks.
The dad that cooks.
I'll say my MVP is it's Raven. I'll say it. I think she's good in this. I would not say there is some stuff that I'm like, oh, you're doing a Ravenism because you know it works. But again, like because it works, I'm still charmed by it.
But I did like her turn as like kind of like very arrogant steamrolling. Really, yes, bratty. Like it really made me mad that like that whole scene with her like telling Doe like she looks awful and like telling Drinka.
She tells Doe, she was like, well, you're not even really a singer, so I guess it's fine that you missed it anyway.
I was like, God. I liked her turn as like a diva in that way.
And there is like, I mean, I remember girls specifically finding this layer of cattiness in like in middle school. Like I feel like is really when it's like, oh, I can fight with words in a way that like makes people feel real bad and it's fun.
And as gay men, like and
we've never let go. Never let go, Jack. Molly, what's your closer today?
If the three of us,
one if you don't have one. Oh yeah.
I always have one. I just don't write it down. Okay. Because I make it up during the podcast, but I'm ready. If the three of us were in a girl group, what are you going to name it?
I don't know. I like Cinemagique a lot.
Cinemagique. I feel like we have to be a burlesque act if that's
Cinemagique. Yeah, Cinemagique is burlesque for sure.
Okay, we could be a burlesque influenced girl group.
I mean, I think it would be like Adam and the blah blah blahs for sure. I think it's obviously that it's me as the front and center. Because I do so much work for the show.
Is that our literal name? Is for the blah blah blahs?
Sure.
That's cute, actually.
That's kind of cute.
I want to be a blah blah blah.
But we are doing
masks.
We are doing wiggles. Like that is doing.
Oh, that's the vibe.
Blippy.
Okay.
Like we're Miss Rachel. You know what I mean? Like that's the energy. Backyardigans, I think.
Yeah.
Would be the.
If you didn't have a closer, mine was going to be if you had to be in the global get down, what animal are you?
Oh, I'm panda down.
Yeah.
You could also make an animal that's not one of the four too.
That's true.
Okay,
but they have to be they were
animal.
specifically endangered species.
Endangered species.
Right.
Any endangered species?
Because that was hot at the moment.
That
was what he says. He's like, people care about endangered species. So
yeah. I might with like a polar bear. I think that would be a good, yeah.
I think you could make that sexy too.
Thank you.
But like, I think it would be like the fur trimmed, like short, like mini skirt, like tube top ensemble with a little hoodie.
Mm-hmm. Ooh,
like
with
a big hood.
With a hood.
With a big hood. Yeah. Oh, we see the vision. Bitch. I'm just skipping.
Music producer.
My animal. Oh God, there's so many to choose from because so many are endangered in our world today.
It's true.
Name one.
Real
name
social
one
message about women's health.
Yes.
I wrote that. I'm playing a character in this.
Yeah. Adam has to Google endangered species because he can't think of anything outside of a panda,
Wow.
the cheetah, the snow leopard.
You're so disengaged.
Blue whale.
Okay, we've got some
got blue
options.
whale. We've got beluga whale.
Wow,
we've got gray
guys, there's
whale.
a lot of endangered species.
Did I tell you guys I saw a blue whale?
Oh,
where?
In the wild in San Diego?
In San
In
Diego?
the wild. I went whale watching. I saw a blue whale.
Wow.
You were in a
truly
boat or you just
one of
did
the best
a
moments.
coast?
I was in a boat.
Wow.
I'm going to choose, you know what? I'm going to go concept and I'm going to choose the Great Barrier Reef.
Boo.
So
concept sucks.
So if we're doing conceptual and it's just like environmental things,
Yeah.
I would be the giant plastic island floating in the Atlantic, in the ocean.
But we want that to be endangered, RJ. We're going so off message. We need a Galleria to whip us into shape and focus in on what it is that we're doing. Okay.
Fine. I will be the rainforests.
Okay.
The Amazon.
All right, I guess you two will be environments and I'll be a polar bear.
You can be glacier. You're an iceberg.
Sexy polar bear.
Glaciers.
You could be sexy glacier.
I can be sexy glacier. Okay.
Yeah. Did you know icebergs are parts of glaciers that are falling off and are just floating now? Did you know that?
Why are you laughing as you're telling me that information?
Because we didn't
I just
know,
found out
so
today.
we Googled it.
Oh, okay.
Because Miranda was like,
Miranda went on an Alaskan cruise.
Yes. And she was like, I saw a glacier, but it wasn't that big. And we were like, well,
that's global warming.
That's global warming, mama. And then we were like, but is that not an iceberg? And so we had to look up the difference.
Gotcha.
Icebergs are the poop of glaciers.
Yeah.
The droppings.
Well,
I think we've done more to raise environmentalism in this
today.
podcast
Yes.
than-
And that, you know what?
And that's why we're saying vote for Jill Stein in 2024.
No, we're not saying that.
No, we're not saying that.
saying
Nope,
that.
we
That's
are
not
not
a
saying
podcast
that.
speaking. Nope.
No, we're saying vote Donald Trump. All right, well.
You're so stupid.
Just kidding. We're all coconut pilled.
Of course.
We're coconut.
Coconut crew, honey.
But what if you were like the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, but it's the style of the Grease 2 girls that come out as the holidays?
Oh, I mean, that's a Follies. That's a Follies number. Begging to be a Follies number, honey, of just like environmental concerns
as different Follies.
Wow.
Why has Mel Brooks not come up with that yet?
Mel Brooks is sleeping on the job. What is he, 104? Let's go. Come on.
Mel, come on.
Melvin.
Melvin.
Right,
okay, we've really taken a turn here. Cheetah Girls. Cheetah Sisters.
Thank you for listening to the best revival of a podcast, Showgays. You can find us on social media. Adam is at Adam Noecker on Twitter. RJ is at RJ Food Rocks on Instagram. And Molly is at Molly Matiny on Instagram. This episode was edited and mixed by Adam Noecker. This has been an Ampliverse production. You can find our show page and more information at theampliverse.com. If you'd like to send us your own takes on the movie we just watched, reach out to us via email and we might read it aloud on the show. Our email is showgazemoviemusical@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you find your podcasts. And as always, rate, review, and subscribe to help others find the show. And now, as always, the show must go on, so stick around to hear what we're going to be watching next episode.
Candy Casey, very good. You're going to do it again, Victoria. Stop smiling. It's not the high school play. Count.
5, 6, 7, 8. 1.
All that work. Stand on your right foot. Point your left toe. Drop that shoulder. All that pain. That's not too hard, is it? Oh, boy, do I hate show business. All that glitter. Jokes is what I need.
Yo, you love show business.
That's right, I love show business. All that love. I'll go either way. It's showtime, folks. All that jazz. Give it to
Discovering voices.